Oh, hey, we're back. What's up? Hey, I was just sending a message to Brian. Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi coming to you live from Washington, D.C. tonight. I'm still here in the nation's capital where I can tell you firsthand we're witnessing day 45 of President Trump's triumphant return to the White House, and what a day it's been. While the corporate media continues their pathetic meltdown, real Americans are witnessing rebirth of our nation. We're seeing tangible results, not empty promises, not virtue signaling, but actual measurable improvements in American lives. And that terrifies the left. Tonight, we're bringing you the stories they're desperate to hide, the economic revival taking shape, the swift action on national security, and the spectacular implosion of the Democrat Party. It's all happening right now, and you're seeing it here first. What makes this show different isn't just our commitment to truth, it's you, our loyal viewers across America and the world who engage with us in real time through our live chat. You are the heartbeat of this operation. Your reactions, your insights, your questions drive the show forward, and tonight will be no exception. We're streaming live, not just on YouTube to millions worldwide, but also on Rumble and X. Let me tell you something, the tech oligarchs hate that we're bypassing their algorithms. So here's what I need you to do right now. Take out your phone, that's right, your phone, and text this live stream link to at least 5 patriots that you know. That's how we beat the censors. Person to person, American to American. Now, if you're watching us for the first time, you need to follow us on all of those platforms immediately. Don't wait. The subscribe button is right there. Hit it because when the inevitable censorship comes, and it will, you know exactly where to find us. Tonight's lineup is explosive. We'll be exploring how President Trump is leading America into economic revival and creating a safer nation. We'll break down how his powerful response to the fake news machine and his game-changing economic moves. We'll also examine the unprecedented Trump-Musk alliance that's reshaping America's future while exposing left-wing corruption. We'll show you how Trump is taking on the cartels and the fentanyl crisis like a true commander-in-chief. And finally, we'll dissect the continuing collapse of the Democrat Party as disarray and infighting dominate their ranks. In between segments, we'll be featuring your super chats and Rumble rants on screen for the world to see. That's right, your comments, your voice, broadcast live to millions. But here's the inside track. The super chats get priority. And when you support the show, you move to the front of the line. It's that simple. And speaking of support, this show exists because of viewers like you. The mainstream media has billions in corporate backing, but we have you. And that's it. So if you value independent journalism, if you believe in our mission to bring you the unfiltered truth, just hit the link and keep the operation running. They are in the description. Every dollar helps us fight back against the media monopoly. Of course, we've also launched our YouTube channel memberships with exclusive perks at every level. Support the channel and receive exclusive acknowledgement in the live chat and unlock exclusive access to the Next News team and behind-the-scenes videos you will never see published publicly. Don't forget to check out the merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Show the world where you get your news with exclusive Next News swag. So buckle up, America. The Raw Feed starts now. The truth begins here. And let's welcome you to the show. Who is in the house tonight? Let's check in with everybody. We've got Broken Prophet, Jerome. We got Texas Rose, Sure You in the house. We've got Queen Bee's Art Hive. We've got Porch Sitters in the house. We've got Rusty Shackelford, Kev Chat, the Pork Report, bacon. We've also got Christina Gavlik, who says, love Gary's coverage of the White House. I will be checking in at the White House tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to give you a nice roundup of the week. So keep your eyes open for that. Old Dirty just got a membership gifted by Juan Ruiz. Juan is, man, this guy is, I don't know what Juan's doing over there, but he's just gifting memberships left and right. Make sure you have your gifts enabled so you can receive the next time somebody decides to give a gift. And what did you do, Juan? What, come on, man. Like I'm trying to do the show open and like, you're just like blasting out all these membership. What the heck? What? 50 memberships. What? 50? What? Oh my goodness. What? 50 memberships? I don't know what. Yeah, exactly. Holy cow. 50 memberships tonight. Juan, I can't even, like, dude, you just flooded my entire screen. I can't even, like, keep track of it all now. Wow. I mean, wow. What? Literally, like my screen is completely flooded. Wow. Okay. Cool. This is awesome, and it just keeps going and going and going. Juan, you're out of control tonight. I don't know what your plan is, um, but we. Okay. Thanks for throwing me off. Thank you. You guys. Okay. Listen, we've got news to cover tonight, and I know you guys love to like play games with me in the chat and get me like I know what you do. No, literally, I watch the chat, and you guys have like an agenda in chat where you want to throw me off. Okay, anyway, we got news to start. Scooby Dragon just became a member too. All right, Brian, let's start with the show. We got our first topic of the night we got to get into, and let's just hope these folks behave in the chat room tonight because, of course, they're gonna want me to do like a Trump dance or something, and I'm not really good at that, but we'll do our best. Ladies and gentlemen, on day 45 of President Trump's return to power, we're witnessing something the establishment told you would never happen. America is rising again, not gradually, not tentatively, but with breathtaking speed and confidence. Mortgage rates have fallen for 7 straight weeks. Manufacturing is surging back to life. Small businesses are reporting renewed optimism. And why? Because leadership matters. We've been telling you for years, America isn't broken. It was just badly led. Look at Steve Dillett, CEO of Custom Aluminum Products, who stated unequivocally, without this executive order, we would not exist. That's not hyperbole, that's survival. American steel and aluminum, the backbone of our industrial might, protected by a president who understands that a nation without manufacturing becomes dependent and weak. And as we move into 2025, one thing has become crystal clear. De-dollarization is accelerating rapidly. China and other BRICS nations are visibly intimidated by President Trump's return, making them more determined than ever to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar and position themselves as global economic powers. Their weapon of choice is gold. China has quietly resumed gold purchases, and they deliberately underreport these acquisitions. They recognize gold's universal value and stability during economic turbulence, but they don't want their strategy known. It's not just geopolitics, it's directly affecting your financial security. Now, in this era of shifting economic influence, gold serves as your personal hedge against uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments specializes in helping Americans secure their financial future. So visit nextnewsgold.com today. That number on the screen, you can see it right here, 877-646-5347. Give them a call and tell them that Gary Franchi at Next News sent you. All right, let's get into our first topic. We got this here. This is just 3 hours ago. So we got some cutting edge breaking news. This is Secretary Burgum. President Trump's plan for U.S. energy dominance includes us selling clean U.S. energy to our allies. Now, the left wants you to believe that Trump's not doing anything to lower prices. Well, the first thing you need to do is lower energy prices, and then the domino effect occurs. So let's check in.
From Russia was, well, President Trump's plan, of course, for U.S. energy dominance includes us selling clean U.S. energy to our allies so they don't have to buy it from our adversaries. But part of the reason why Europe was buying from Russia was because President Biden and his administration put a ban on export facilities like we're here today. This is the most technologically advanced facility in the world. It's the largest construction project going on in North America, $18 billion of additional work that's going into this. And Chris and I had a chance to address today. There's over 6,000 patriotic American workers on site today building really the best of America because they're bringing prosperity at home and they're bringing peace to the world with the work they're doing here on this LNG export facility.
Oh, you got to love it, man. Peace to the world, energy dominance coming back. Here we have more from Secretary Wright talking about the ship behind them. Let's check in.
Just in that one Let's talk about what you were doing in Louisiana. This signifies what President Trump has promised, which is drill, baby, drill. And we're talking about liquefied natural gas, now not just being produced, but shipped, and shipped directly to Europe.
You bet, Will. The ship behind us, it arrived this morning from Germany. In less than 24 hours, it'll be loaded and sailing back to Germany. 100,000 homes in Europe can be heated and supplied with gas for a full year just in that one tanker behind us. This is unleashing American energy to the benefit of Americans and to the benefit of our friends and allies abroad. This is the way to peace.
Let's talk about what...
Let's go, baby. American exports, fuel going out to Germany. Here we have Senator Jim Banks. While CNN is focused on playing politics, President Trump is focused on putting veterans first. His first term reforms transformed the VA by enhancing care, expanding choice, and ensuring accountability. Let's check in with that.
Absolutely.
For Americans that these VA cuts, and we're hearing, the 70,000 on the table here, that will not affect veteran care and benefits that they receive from the VA.
Absolutely. I mean, President Trump is so pro-veteran. He had a great track record for veterans in his first term. I serve on the Veterans Committee in the Senate, and we're going to do so much more to make the VA work for our veterans by creating more community care and getting services directly to the veteran instead of more red tape. And that's what DOGE is doing, is cutting red tape. And Congress and the president, we're going to come in and work together to make the VA work better for veterans. We're just getting started. We're on a roll, but we're just getting started.
We are just getting started. You guys know I love the DOGE, right? The DOGE is like first and forefront for everything happening by cutting all the fat. We got this. What's this? This is appears to be this Trump scene from a hit HBO series is taking the internet by storm. It's a must see. Okay, well, let's play it, but I know HBO doesn't like us.
HBO Max is in the process of rolling out the third season, and the third episode of the third season just came out, and it has taken the internet by storm. We're going to cover it. But this show, before I get into it, it is great at storytelling. Cinematography is immaculate, but the social commentary is unmatched. Mike White, the creator of this, he just has a way of getting at the heart of what's happening socially in America. And that's why one of the recent scenes has the country talking. It's because the social commentary is unmatched. And
I want to point out something. As you can see in the upper corner there, it says Bongino Report, early edition. Now, I've personally never seen this. But clearly this appears to be a pivot, as Dan Bongino is now at the FBI. So this appears to be Evita, some big shoes to fill, right, with the Bongino Report. And she's covering this HBO series. Okay.
You don't need to know anything about the show. It's not really relevant. The scene really speaks for itself, but just some brief context is that this clip I'm going to play for you, it features three friends. They're at a luxury vacation in Thailand. One woman in the green is from Los Angeles. The woman in the yellow is from New York. And the woman in the black and white is from Texas. They all grew up together. They're old friends, but they've obviously landed in different parts of the country and evolved as women over the years. And so they're kind of refamiliarizing themselves with each other. They're old friends and they're catching up.
Okay, she already lost me. I'm not interested anymore. You guys can figure it out. I'll repost it. Okay, here we have, this is townhall.com, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, I heard about this. Gavin Newsom sitting down with Charlie Kirk. What? Who could have imagined that? Okay, here we have it. We got a clip. Wow. I want to see how Gavin Newsom slithers his way out of Charlie Kirk's questions. This is going to be good.
And it's been...
You are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
But I know, but I appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here, because I think people need to understand your success, your influence, what you've been up to, and the fact that you're on these college campus tours. And to your point, man, you just open up. I mean, you're like, ask me anything.
Anything.
Challenge me,
whatever.
When did this whole thing, when did you start putting this together?
I've been at this for 13 years and
come on, like we've seen this shtick before. It's a good shtick, and I love that Charlie Kirk is doing it. Steven Crowder used to do it all the time. Ask me anything. and Charlie Kirk is taking it up a notch. But the fact that we have Gavin Newsom sitting down with Charlie Kirk is really, really interesting. Let's keep watching.
It's been a wild movement, really accelerated once President Trump kind of came on the scene. Right around, I'd say 2021, we had a goal. Could we move the youth vote 10 points over 10 years? And
it was literally you sat down and put that numerical together.
Yeah, like, can we move it 10 points over 10 years? Ish, approximate. Yeah. Because our whole hypothesis was, and we did this alongside President Trump and his great team, was that this demographic is disproportionately to the Democrat side. We believe Democrats were taking them for granted. We think that your side had no message whatsoever and an ideological monopoly. We saw some of the fault lines there. And to President Trump's credit, he also harmonized with the strategy by going on podcasting and using TikTok. But yeah, we did it in 4 years, not 10, large in part thanks to you guys. One of the things we saw in the last couple of years that the Democrats completely ignored, and your side was basically not acknowledging it was happening, was the crisis that young people were experiencing.
Right.
That, it's the first time in America's history that a 30-year-old is going to have it worse off than their parents.
Right.
It's a breakdown of the social compact.
That's right.
They are the most alcohol addicted, most drug addicted, most suicidal, most depressed, most medicated generation in history.
Right.
And the message that was largely being fed to a lot of young people was lower your expectations. You're not going to have the same American dream that your parents would have. Mm-hmm. And we saw this as an opportunity, especially with young men. And again, this got ridiculed a lot by the press that, they're creating this manosphere thing. Look, they're half of the population and necessary for any society and civilization to succeed, which is to have both strong men and strong women.
Yeah.
And we went about that in a very unique and creative way. And again, the president became a cultural phenomenon, right, where no matter what you threw at this guy, he rose above it. And you would even have to give him credit.
100%.
700 years in federal prison.
Yeah.
States tried to kick him off the ballot. I know you spoke out against it, but California did have a faction that tried to kick him off the ballot, right?
That's right.
And despite all of that, of course, being shot, and that was kind of the crescendo of all of it, he kind of became this figure of an American comeback story.
Yep.
So he personified what a lot of young people, especially young men, wanted back in their politics, which was an ascendant rebel attitude against these institutions that have failed them so miserably.
I think you talked about it the other day. A lot of folks were talking about that Carville article where he talked about
roll over and play dead.
Roll over. In essence, he said that. I think it was a strategic retreat,
mm-hmm,
right? That we need to come back. Trump's starting to implode. His numbers are getting soft. This was even before the tariff issues, et cetera. And then come back and strike when hot. And I immediately, no BS, thought about you, who's just 24/7 flooding the zone, owning this space, every day getting a convert, every day picking up 1, 2, 10,000 folks, continuing the momentum, coming out of this damn election. And then I'm thinking about, we're going to stand back and watch you run circles around us for 6 months, the next 2 or 3 years.
Maybe Gavin Newsom should subscribe to the Next News Network and see what we're doing over here.
Waiting for the moment to finally strike struck me as not necessarily the best advice, and it's not a knock on Carville, who I have deep respect for. What's your thoughts?
That's okay. So I don't have to. He's right about one thing in the last 40 years. Its economy is stupid, and boy, he spent down that one line pretty amazingly. Yeah, I hope you guys retreat.
You kind of like the
more
advice.
For us.
You like the advice.
There's no opposition. There's no activist spark. You guys are posting these cringe videos on social media.
What are the videos? What are the ones that
I don't know.
Most
this
cringy?
like harmonious thing of like 22 senators all saying the same
You
thing.
didn't like that, yeah.
I didn't like it. Go ahead. Go do more of that.
What do you do?
Please.
What do you?
Oh yeah, that was cringe. We all knew what they were doing there. Trying to feed into the meme machine, but they just look stupid doing so. Okay, there's like 10 seconds left. Let's see if Gavin can salvage this.
You do. Seriously, Charlie Kirk, give us some advice.
Get better ideas, Governor.
Get better ideas, Governor. Yeah. Gavin Newsom, straight from Central Casting, launching his own podcast, inviting Charlie Kirk over there. It's a sign of desperation, if you ask me. But that's fine. You can pay attention to Charlie Kirk. We'll be over here at the Next News Network, kicking ass all day long with all of our reporting. Let's see here. We've got more. This is Heather 007, removing 15% of the workforce from the VA as a disabled veteran. Okay, let's check it out.
From the beginning. For those of you that are diehard Trump supporters, I highly suggest you realizing this is my disclaimer to you, because I too have supported Trump almost unequivocally from the beginning. And as a veteran, as a 100% disabled veteran who relies solely on VA healthcare, I had a moment of pause when I heard that Trump was effectively removing 15% of the VA's workforce. In fact, I believe my reaction was, what the fuck?
Okay, so he's removing 15%. It's probably, DOGE cutting the fat and ineffective people at the VA to provide better care. Okay, I'm sure she's going to get into that. Let's get into it.
But see, this is where the right side of politics and the left side of politics tend to differ. Had I been on the left side of politics, I would have gone down the road of logging into CNN and MSNBC, finding every single horrible thing anybody said about Trump in reference to the military, veterans, or troops. Instead, I am on the right side of politics, where I have the ability to rub a couple little brain cells together to activate my discernment, to then do a little bit of research to find out the real reason why Trump is cutting 15% from the VA. And here's why. In 2017, when Trump took office, he inherited a list of backlogged VA claims to the tune of 470,000 from Obama and Biden. While Trump served his 4 years in his first term, he was able to dwindle that list down to 40,000. Yes, that's right. He removed 430,000 from the backlogged list of VA claims. When Trump handed that list over to Biden, Biden then decided to up the VA's employment force by 15%. That's 70 to 80,000 workforce. Over the course of the 3 years since he's done that, do you know what the VA backlog is now? He has managed to multiply it by 5. There are over 200,000 backlogged VA claims. When Trump was in office, it was 40,000. Trump was able to dwindle almost 500,000 backlogged VA claims without the 15% boost that Biden added. So why in the world would Trump keep those 80,000 employees when he knows he can do better with less? Which means there is now 70 to 80,000 yearly salaries worth of money that can be dumped back into the treatment for its veterans.
Boom!
My only hope in all of this is, as a 100% disabled veteran who does rely solely on VA healthcare, is I can get in to an appointment when I have an issue in under 6 months.
Wow.
And I think Trump can do it. For those of you that are diehard.
Oh, wow. See, this is the Trump effect. You're seeing it in real time. And we have people like this veteran who are revealing it. And I didn't see this clip, but I had a feeling this is where she was going. Biden just boosting up the workforce and just creating more red tape for all these veterans to go through. President Trump is creating efficiency at the VA. And that is what is it about. Okay, so what do we have here? This is from Rapid Response 47 5 hours ago, Truth Social post. The golden age, this is President Trump, the golden age of America has just begun. Over the past 6 weeks, our administration has delivered on promises like no administration before it, always putting America first. DOGE has been incredible success. And now that we have my cabinet in place, I have instructed the secretaries and leaderships to work with DOGE on cost-cutting measures and staffing. As the secretaries learn about and understand the people working for the various departments, they can be very precise as to who will remain and who will go. We say the scalpel rather than the hatchet. The combination of them, Elon, DOGE, and other great people will be able to do things at a historic level. He says, we had a historic meeting with the secretaries, Elon and others. It was a very positive one, very important. We cut levels down to where they should be, but it's also important to keep the best and the most productive people. You see, this is about efficiency. It's about providing the American people with actual services that the government can respond to, not just blasting out all this red tape. And how many times have you ever called the government? Can you even call the government and get an answer from something? No, it doesn't work. So President Trump is clearly working to streamline these things to give the American people better services from the government. Now, in my personal opinion, the government shouldn't be providing services to anybody. Okay? The only service they should be providing is ensuring that the Constitution is upheld. Okay? That they are bound down by the words of our founders. That's it. Like all this other stuff is just fluff. It is waste. So when Trump goes in there with Elon, I'm excited to watch this because we are getting closer to the intention of our founding fathers. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, they recognize this and they're bringing it full circle. So all these freaking bureaucracies, get rid of them. Get rid of them. They don't even need to exist. Okay? But, you've got these laws, you've got these statutes, and they're just going to keep, playing into that. We need the welfare clause, and da-da-da. Forget about it. All right? I appreciate he's using a scalpel. Sure. But bring the frickin', not the hatchet. Bring the frickin' chainsaw. Let's go. Okay, what's this? We have a special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, talking about peace. Let's check out.
Peace in the Middle East. We want to see peace. We want to see peace in the Middle East. Well, I should say the president wants to see peace and we follow our commander-in-chief. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want to see it in Ukraine. We want to see it all over the world. And we think all of these conflicts can be settled, and we're proving it every single day.
And they can, and they will. Because do we want to live in a perpetual state of war? Who the hell wants that? Do we want to live under the risk that our sons and daughters are going to be drafted or brought into some world conflict? No. We want to have trade. We want to have economic prosperity. We want to be able to make our omelets in the morning without the threat of Joe Biden, right? When he issued the order to kill all these chickens. And everyone's like, oh, Donald Trump, he's not making eggs cheap again. Well, we're just getting started, okay? So we're going to make eggs cheap again, and we're going to bring peace to the world. And you're not going to have to worry about your sons and daughters going off to die for some foreign war that we didn't ask for. Okay? Oh, man. Okay, what else have we got here? What is this? This is 24 hours ago. A hilarious interview with DJ Daniel. Donald Trump is the best president in the United States. Oh, this is from Real America's Voice. I love this kid.
I have, can I call you officer or agent, DJ Daniel, all of the above?
It really don't matter to me. I love women, so I don't care.
That's amazing. DJ Daniel.
He's like, I don't care. I love the women. Oh, man, this guy's a player.
I want to ask you, first and foremost, do you love President Trump? And are you so excited to be here on the White House grounds?
Obviously, because I gave him a great note that says Donald Trump is the best president of the United States of America.
And why do you feel that way?
Because honestly, I honestly wanted to see Donald Trump in real life, and now it actually came true. And to my friends, I know one of my friends told me to say this to Donald Trump, but I didn't say it to him. So good luck, buddy.
Last thing, because we know you got to bounce. What would your one piece of advice for the Secret Service be?
Please stop being mean to President Trump, because if I see you being mean to him, I'm coming after you.
I love that. I think you need to become the director of the Secret Service. DJ, it is such an honor to have met you.
Hold up, I got one more thing to say.
He has one more thing to say. I won't interrupt you.
If you're a Democrat and you're being mean to President Trump, I'm on your bumper.
You are about to go so viral, and you went viral last night.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of acting like Miss Candace Matthews from Houston, Texas.
That's amazing. Do you have anything else that you want to say? You should just take my job at this point.
May bless America.
How about that, Steve? I think we found my replacement, your replacement.
Thank you.
Would you ever run for president?
I'm not sure. I'm a little bit too young. Well, really and truly, I'm not young. I'm a 50-year-old trapped in a 50-year-old body. I might look 13, but I'm 50.
I love that, and it sounds like you gotta go. The War Room Posse loves you. It's an honor to have met you, sir.
I can't go yet because I see a little bald spot. I rub bald heads for good luck, if you know.
I think they want you to go, so I think you're going to have to go.
Okay. Never mind.
Very nice to meet you.
DJ Daniels, so amazing.
I just
Absolutely.
realized that that's the first
Thank
time I
you.
ever shaked a woman's hand.
What?
That's crazy.
Oh, man. Thank you so much.
He's just grabbing a little piece on the way out. That's nice. Good for him. President Trump, rapid response 7 hours ago. President Trump has saved American families $2,100 by costly Biden regulations halted. And this looks like a clip from a mainstream outlet that was forced to report this news.
Of what This morning, we have a new exclusive report obtained only by the National News Desk. And the first line here really is the biggest headline of all of this. President Trump has saved American families $2,100 by costly Biden regulations halted. So we're going to go through some of these numbers, but that's the big takeaway. $2,100 in savings per family because of what President Trump has done to deregulate and to clear up what Biden left behind. So let's go through this right now. The report says Biden loaded up nearly $2 trillion, or just over $21,000 per family of four in new regulatory costs. That eclipses any other administration on record. The report also says Biden left billions more of proposed rules in the works. Now, President Trump immediately blocked all of that when taking office and started the whole deregulating process since he returned to office just a few weeks ago. That exclusive report that came in overnight says Trump has saved Americans overall $180 billion. That's 10% savings per family, as mentioned, by cutting this reckless Biden-era rules and regulations. And according to the report, the exclusive reporting here, the most burdensome regulations include that on your screen right there, roughly $1.3 trillion from new EPA rules, including more than $870 billion in mandates regarding greenhouse gas emissions. And the list goes on and on from there. For the full report, go to our website right now, thenationaldesk.com. We'll continue to go through it this morning and break it down for you and what it means for you and your.
You gotta love it, man. This is only the beginning. Oh, and what do we have here? Oh, we got some more Charlie Kirk schooling a liberal on why DEI is bad for America. Tulsi Gabbard, what is this? A parody account actually posted this. Check it out.
Based on the Civil Rights Act, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. How have you been?
Great.
That's fantastic. You did do that. I do want to talk a little bit about his policy on DEIs, and I just kind of want to ask you to elaborate on why DEI is unlawful.
Based on the Civil Rights Act, which is the law of the land, it says you shall not discriminate based on color, race, creed, or origin of nationality.
Yes.
And DEI definitionally does those things. So let's take a high-profile DEI example. Is that cool? Just maybe one we can play around with?
Okay.
Which I got me in a lot of viral trouble, which I don't care, which is pilots.
I got in a lot of viral trouble, too. I was debating this guy,
I know. A project of DEI at United Airlines was that we want to get 40% of our pilots to be black or women or people of color.
40%.
It was at like 6%. So therefore, they wanted to make a push towards that. We look at that and we say, wow, you're going to have to lower standards to get to that goal.
Why would you have to lower standards?
Well, because...
Are you saying that black people are inherently inferior?
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that, at least from our perspective, because it's no good for us to go back and forth again. Maybe from our perspective, that we worry that the pursuit of diversity can mean the compromising of excellence.
Okay, maybe just a haircut.
It's been a while.
And Charlie Kirk giving her a haircut in truth. What else? Oh, look at this. Oh, man. It's always funny when we see Chris Cuomo. It blows my freaking mind every time I see him. Okay, he's talking to Secretary Rollins, breaking down egg prices. We were just talking about that. Okay, let's go.
Blue is when they. But
this is from 21 hours ago. If you don't mind, this is from 21 hours ago.
Chris, is we're talking about the high price of eggs, and I want to show your viewers this chart. So you'll see here that this is 40 years of egg prices, right? 40 years. The blue is Obama, the first Obama term. The red, you'll see that prices of eggs go up. The red, the prices go back down. That's under President Trump the last time. And then the blue is when they skyrocketed. So certainly avian flu has a lot to do with it, but it's also the high cost of inputs, the unbelievable amount of regulation, the shutting down of our export markets. We have a $49 billion deficit in our ag products since Joe Biden took office. Do you know how much of a deficit we had under President Trump when we left? Zero. So there's a lot more that goes into this than just the avian flu, and we're working really hard to address it. But the other...
Yeah, avian flu. Give us all a break here. Let's just make egg prices great again. What's this? We got Marco Rubio. And if you're wondering what that symbol is on his head, this was recorded on Ash Wednesday. So don't anyone get all freaked out about it, okay? Here he is talking about tired of watching videos every weekend where hostages are emaciated.
His patience with it. You know how long we've been waiting for a long time in this country to have the kind of leadership with that kind of clarity. People don't realize the president meets with these people. He hears their stories. He's outraged, and rightfully so. He's tired of watching these videos every weekend where hostages that are emaciated are released and bodies are turned over, and sometimes it's the wrong bodies, and this 5 here and 3 there, and these games that are being played. And he's lost his patience with it. He's been very clear about this from the beginning. He's created space and time for this to be solved, and now it's time for seeing it come to an end. It's enough of this already. These people have been in captivity now for over a year and a half. These are monsters. It needs to stop. And I wish there were more international pressure along the same lines here. But I'm glad he's putting those statements out. I think he doesn't say these things and not mean it, as folks are finding out around the world. If he says he's going to do something, he'll do it. He'll do it. And so they better take that seriously. You know how...
And he is doing it every single day. We have more. Here's an Abbey Gate bombing survivor, Marine Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews, talking about when he spoke directly with Donald Trump and Vice President Vance.
Why do you trust the Trump administration to deliver the accountability that the Biden administration wasn't able to?
What I would say from my perspective is that, let alone the former president never once speaking the names of the 13 Americans killed in action aloud publicly, the 11 Marines, 1 soldier, and 1 sailor. When I spoke directly with President Trump and President Vance, I spoke and said that, saying that there needed to be accountability and that it was owed, strong leadership was owed to the American people as a whole. And, they shook my hands and said that there would be. And, President Trump himself, I mentioned, he's like, you were wounded at Abbey Gate, and I was like, yes, sir, Mr. President, my friend and mentor Hoover was killed next to me. And he said, yes, I know Darren Taylor Hoover and I know his family very well. And I mean, just for the president of the United States to speak his name, Hoover was killed next to me. And, just to have the president know who he is and to truly understand and be coherent enough to say and work with these families. And
okay, I'm going to pause it real quick. Did you hear what he just said? Be coherent enough. I mean, that is a direct dig at the last administration. Joe Biden, incoherent. I mean, his wife was taking over cabinet meetings. Okay, Dr. Jill. Makes me so mad. Oh, but listen, as mad as I am, what we all had to endure for 4 freaking years, we finally have a president who is coherent and who can actually climb up the freaking stairs of Air Force One. I mean, the fact that I have to say that, okay, I'm going to try to contain myself.
Be friends for them, and I think every day, almost since that day, these family members in the Abbey Gate Coalition, the Trump administration has been there for them when the previous administration was not. And I know people got in a big fuss.
Yeah, brother. Why do you trust the Trump administration?
Oh, wow. Unreal. Here we have Timcast News posting this. This was the best thing that could have happened to the Republican Party, Speaking of Trump's address to Congress, let's check in with Tim Pool.
Before the midterms, this was the best thing that could have happened to the Republican Party and Trump's coalition. The big concern most of us have is how much can Trump get done before the midterms, because that's when squishy Republicans will bow out and stop supporting his agenda. And that's when, if Trump loses the midterms, he either gets impeached or gets obstructed, and then nothing else can happen for the remainder of his 4 years. But with actions like this from the Democrats, booing, jeering, or whatever, screaming and constantly just jeering, Al Green getting thrown out. Did you guys hear that they're drafting a censure of Al Green over this?
Good.
Yep.
Good.
I have to imagine Republicans planned this. Like, they crafted this specifically to be like, how can we make Democrats make a fool of themselves? They're so predictable.
No, Tim, I'm going to pause this. It wasn't Republicans that crafted this. This, I just believe, this is my gut, okay? And I follow my gut. That whole thing was crafted by Democrats in their back rooms so that they could create this scene. All right, let's hear. We got about a minute left on this. Let's see how Tim's people respond.
I mean, look, I personally have said multiple times we need to see more things like censure, because a lot of times there's really egregious behavior by people in Congress. And I honestly, this is one time where I'll say both sides. There's egregious behavior by people in Congress. And because of the way that our political system works, there's not often repercussions. They don't get voted out of office, et cetera, et cetera. So there's got to be something to say, look, this guy's kind of a scumbag. And I think that censure, because removal from office is so difficult, censure, give it to him. Let him, at least let the record show that this person's trash.
Yeah, well, and Al Green's been in public office since like the 70s. So he's one of those swamp creatures, if you will. And the liberals, they should lead by example. They always say Trump needs to be better at reaching the hand over the aisle. They should lead by example and actually clap when we want to reduce cancer rates in children.
Okay, so they didn't bring up the point that I thought they would, but I think that Tim is missing the mark. I don't think it was Republicans personally. I think it was Democrats. Stellantis, we got this, pledging more American cars, thanking Trump for a 1-month tariff exemption. That's cool. We got this from, this is Woods posting this 24 hours ago. The Breakfast Club is a joke, especially Jess, not hilarious. I don't know why she's still on the show. Charlemagne the fraud. Okay, what are they saying here?
Hi, DJ, we're going. DJ Daniel. He was a 13-year-old kid. Boy. Yeah, that was given a Secret Service.
Yeah, I'm not even going to play that. Okay, let's go to SBA Secretary Kelly. Small business comprise most of the manufacturers in America. Let's listen.
$2 trillion. Small business is domestic manufacturing that benefits from big business manufacturing. Small businesses comprise most of manufacturers in America. And with President Trump already getting $2 trillion in outside investment in this country, that means we're going to have a manufacturing boom, a blue-collar boom that he had in his first term. And there are going to be 1 million jobs available within small business manufacturers. It's going to strengthen our supply chains and our national security, because we know that China is ready to engage now in any kind of war. And we know that we have to bring those supply chains back. We have to strengthen our main streets. This is a great opportunity for rural America. And President Trump is driving that forward with manufacturing and Made in America.
That's all. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And I just got to say, her hair looks beautiful. Don't you guys agree? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Trump knows how to get it done. And we have this. This was posted by the White House. Actually, Angie, my wife, and she texted me this. She's like, you got to play this. You have to play this on the show. This is President Trump meeting with 8 released hostages from Gaza, listening to their heartbreaking stories. Oh, man. I'm going to try to hold it together. Okay. They expressed gratitude for his unwavering efforts to bring them and others home. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, here.
In captivity.
Were you all taken on October 6th?
Yes.
So this was hell, huh?
It was the worst thing that anybody can go through. One of the days they handcuffed one of the boys that was with us, and when he came, and he brought a cutter, and he cut his hand. and smile. They used to eat in front of us while they starved us.
It's a miracle.
That you're living.
Yes.
I was kidnapped on 7 October. My wife and my 2 daughters being murdered on the same day. I was held in captivity 491 days. I've been suffered there from starvation, violence, and humiliations daily. One time, they broke in my ribs, and it was so hurt that I couldn't breathe for 1 month. Thanks to President Trump, I'm a free man. I can hug my mother again. I can hug my brothers and sisters.
I was moved 33 times, spent time in tunnels with no air to breathe, barely food, hardly any water, saw horrific torturing of hostages that I spent time with, and I am so grateful and thankful to be here because of President Trump and the administration's great efforts.
As you know, they're all being released right now. We have so many hostages just waiting to be released.
My little brother, it's still in there.
My family and I myself, we believe you've been sent by God to release them.
We think they could get out thanks to you.
Yes. We are here because of you.
We're alive and free people because of you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's unbelievable. What a story. I've never had anything like this. I mean, I've saved a lot of people, but I've never seen anything like this where you lived under those conditions. Horrible stories. Not even believable.
Thank you.
We'll get them out.
Watch.
Oh, man. Sorry, guys. Okay, listen. Where the hell is Biden? Trump's getting these people out. Where the hell was Biden this whole time? This guy couldn't even figure out what flavor ice cream he wanted. And now we have Trump finally bringing some justice to these people. Bringing them to the Oval Office, giving them the respect they deserve, and highlighting their stories. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm a real person, okay? I'm not trying to play some frickin' game here. This is real life, and it's time to end this stuff, man. It's time to end this frickin' wars. It's time to bring peace. And all we saw with Biden for how many years? Just send more money, send more money, send more bullets, send more tanks. Keep feeding the war machine. Well, people like this end up getting grinded by it. I'm so thankful that Trump is back, because now we finally have like true justice. Oh, man. You know, Angie sent me that link and she wanted me to play it. And, you know, to be honest with you, I saw it yesterday and and we could have played it yesterday, but you know what? It was too much. Like sometimes I have to insulate myself from some of the realities that we face in the news every day. And there it is. You know, I hadn't seen that before. This is the first time I saw that clip with you guys. So this is not like some fake freaking tears. Oh, Franchi, you're a softy. Well, piss off, okay? We're talking about real American lives. Real lives. Humanity. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Finally, though, we're seeing some real justice happening. Okay, let me get back to the. Sorry, that really messed me up. This is 8 hours ago. Rapid response 47. President Trump posting this on Truth Social with respect to what happened in Mexico. After speaking with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, I've agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. Our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working hard together on the border, both in terms of stopping illegal aliens from entering the United States and likewise stopping fentanyl. Thank you, President Sheinbaum, for your hard work and cooperation. So it appears that Trump is granting some accommodations to Mexico with respect to the tariffs. We'll continue to track this. What do we have? This is doesn't surprise me. This man is correct. It's true. Liberals are literally fighting God, and they will never win. Oh boy.
Jesus Christ is king, and you, liberals, have been arm wrestling with Jesus Christ for the last 4 years.
Yeah, well, we know who wins that battle. President Trump sending a strong message to Hamas, promising full support to Israel to deal with the situation. Hostages must be released now or face severe consequences. Here's some of the imagery. Trump issues warning to Hamas, release all hostages or they will be held to pay. Here's a picture from that moment that I just played for you. Trump meets with 8 freed Hamas hostages at the White House. His warning to Hamas, release all the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the bodies of the people, or it's over for you. This is your last warning. This was posted on Truth Social. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. President Trump posting this on Truth Social on Wednesday. Here we have this. Peter Navarro, 11 hours ago on Fox, speaking to every world leader.
Pharma company. What I want to say to every world leader who gets up in arms when all we're asking for is fairness and to have them stop killing our people is, please listen to us. Canada could do a lot more. Canada has been taken over, Brett, by Mexican cartels. They bring up these pill presses and printers and the medicines that they fake. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it's major
Pharma
problem.
companies can. You need a spectrometer to do it. It's crazy stuff. And people are dying, Brett. It's been going on for too long. And I'll give you another thing, just to make this point. It's like it all starts in China. But then China brings these chemicals over in 50-gallon drums. And you know what? When they get to the ports, you know why that stuff isn't interdicted there? It's because China owns the ports. What I want to say to every world leader who gets up in arms...
China owns the ports. Well, that's going to end too. We've got this. U.S. mortgage rates drop. Biggest weekly drop since mid-September. Average 30-year fixed mortgage rates have fallen for the 7th straight week, posting the biggest weekly drop since mid-September. This is from Bloomberg. That's huge news. Here we have Senator Steve Daines talking about an important metric. Let's listen.
Investment. I think an important metric that has not been talked about enough is the amount of investment that's already started to occur. Commitments to invest some $2 trillion of investment announced in America, American manufacturing, American jobs, just since President Trump took over. And so this massive investment giving investors confidence that the president is going to protect America. It's an America First agenda. That's going to be an incredible stimulus for this economy, creating more jobs on top of reducing spending, which, of course, can be very inflationary when you spend too much money in the government, which we've seen certainly in the Biden administration. So the bottom line is you're seeing a president looking out for America First interests. And I think an important metric that has not...
America First interests are back, friends. Here we have this. This is Custom Aluminum Products CEO Steve Dillett talking about what President Trump said Tuesday.
About this executive, our president said it best Tuesday night.
when he said that we do not have a country without a healthy steel and aluminum industry. Without this executive order, we will not exist. This executive order fixes the loopholes that have existed from the first executive order. Our president said it best Tuesday.
Manufacturing is coming back. This is Carly Bonet posting this clip from Caitlin Collins on CNN. Apparently, Elon's sending DJ a Cybertruck. What?
Today, we spotted DJ and his dad outside of the West Wing.
You know what's crazy?
What?
You know who I caught in the White House?
Who?
Who made the Teslas?
That Elon. You saw him?
Yes, I caught him in the hallway.
Did you say hi to him?
Mm-hmm.
And what did he
said,
say?
Can you do me a big favor? When we get back to Houston, can you send us a Cybertruck down there?
And did Elon Musk say he'd send you a Tesla? A Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We'll follow up with DJ to see if that happens.
Oh, wow. So it looks like DJ is getting a Cybertruck. How cool. You could send me a Cybertruck too, Elon. President Trump believes 3 things on tariffs. Let's check this out.
That I've said, and I say this because I know it's what President Trump believes. He believes 3 things. 1, that it is a good source of revenues. 2, it protects our important industries and the employees. And 3, he's added a 3rd leg to the stool, and he uses it for negotiating. I've said, and
there's more. Let's keep going. Steven Crowder talking about Justin Trudeau. Yeah, check this out.
Long time. You've some key indisputable facts. Okay, number 1, Canada does have tariffs. They've had tariffs for a long time. You've seen the numbers circulating. They're quite a bit more complicated than that. But Canada has had tariffs that are significantly more than the United States. Okay, key fact number 2. Canada does this as a form of economic protectionism, by their own words, while criticizing the USA for doing the same. That's why they have these tariffs, for example, like dairy. We'll get into that. Key fact number 3. This actually ends up hurting Canadian consumers far more than the USA and far more than Canadians realize. Key fact number 4. Free trade, meaning if these tariffs from Canada went away, would effectively mean that Canada would be the 51st state. Without these tariffs and government protectionism and artificial creation manipulation of markets, Canada would cease to exist. Some key.
Now, he's talking about Justin Trudeau. I want to go across the pond for a minute here because there's something really important I posted last night on X, and it really speaks to the war machine and what's happening overseas. Macron, France's leader, calling for boots on the ground, more war, massive militarization, and a European army, all in the name of peace. This man is sleepwalking us all into World War III. Listen to what he said.
Imposed tariffs. The war in Ukraine has led to huge numbers of lives lost. Our ally, the United States, has changed its position. And there are doubts about what will happen next. At the same time, even the United States is trying to impose tariffs on goods coming from Europe. And the threat we are witnessing from war and terror is not diminishing. Our peace, our security are more uncertain. We are entering a new era. The war in Ukraine has lasted more than 3 years, and since the first day we decided to support Ukraine and impose sanctions on Russia, and that was the right choice, because it's not just the people of Ukraine who are fighting for their freedom, it's also our security which is under threat. If a country can invade its neighbor in Europe and go unpunished, then nobody can be sure of anything. It will be the law of might is right, and peace can no longer be guaranteed on our own continent. History has taught us that lesson.
So you see what he's doing here? He's trying to scare the people of France, the people of Europe into thinking that this war is just going to keep spilling over, regardless of the peace negotiations going on. But then he's going to go into something that's going to freak you out, talking about the amplification of the militarization of Europe into its own European army. which, you know, has some biblical implications if you understand prophecy.
And beyond Ukraine, the Russian threat is real. It affects the European countries. It affects us. The conflict as Ukraine has become a global conflict. We're seeing North Korean fighters, Iranian equipment, which is being used to help Russia arm further. President Putin is violating our borders to assassinate opponents, manipulate elections, hack hospital systems. We see lies being disseminated on social media, and our limits are being tested in space, on land, at sea, in the air and behind our screens. Russia, through all this time, is continuing to arm, spending more than 40% of its budget to that end by 2030. Russia plans to increase its army to have 300,000 additional soldiers, 3,000 rather extra jet fighters. Who can believe that in this context, Russia will stop at Ukraine? Russia has become and will remain a threat to France and Europe. It is something I deeply regret. But in the long term,
you see, he's continuing to fearmonger, oh, Russia's not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop Ukraine. This is the narrative they've been pushing since the Ukraine war began.
Peace will return to our continent with a pacified Russia. But we have to look at the situation before us. To remain a spectator in this dangerous world would be crazy. We need, without any further ado, to take steps to guarantee the security of France, Europe and Ukraine first. All of the initiatives for peace are going in the right direction, and I welcome them. And we need to continue to help Ukrainians resist until they can negotiate with Russia a solid and lasting peace for themselves and for all of us. The path to peace cannot be achieved by abandoning Ukraine. We cannot conclude peace at any price, according to Russian dictate. The price of peace cannot be the collapse of Ukraine, nor can it be based on a weak ceasefire. And we've had experience of this in the past as well. We cannot forget. But Russia started its invasion of Ukraine in 2014, and we negotiated the Minsk Accords ceasefire. That was something that Russia didn't respect. And we weren't able to maintain the balance because there weren't solid guarantees. So we can't take Russia at its word. Russia has the right to peace and security for itself. And it's in our interest and the interest of the European continent. So we're working together with Britain, Germany and other allies. You saw me over the last week traveling for a few days to London, meeting with allies in Paris in order to make commitments that are necessary for Ukraine. And once a peace agreement is signed to stop Ukraine being invaded by Russia again, we need to prepare. Obviously, that will involve long-term commitment to the Ukrainian military and perhaps the deployment of European forces.
Perhaps the deployment of European forces. Do you hear? Listen, keep listening.
Russia will see this. Our forces will be there, if necessary, to guarantee peace, not before a peace agreement is signed. And we will continue to meet with allies to move towards the signing of such an agreement. It's a plan for a lasting, solid, verifiable peace agreement, which we're working on with European partners and Ukraine, and which I went to advocate for in the United States just a few days ago. I want to believe that the US will stand by our side, but we have to be ready for that not to be the case. Whether we reach peace in Ukraine soon or not, we need to be able to recognize the Russian threat and better defend ourselves in order to deter such attacks. Whatever happens, we need to provide ourselves with more arms, more equipment in terms of defense, to provide a dissuasive force. And we're committed on that path. We need to do more than we've done in the past to reinforce our defense and security. The future of Europe cannot be decided on in Moscow or Washington. Since the fall of the Berlin Wall, we have seen 3 decades which are now behind us. We're moving on to a new age. We're meeting with the Commission tomorrow, the President of the European Council, for an extraordinary summit. We'll take a number of long-awaited steps which we've been proposing for a number of years, increase in military expenditure, which is something that will be allowed without having it to be subject to deficit rules. Measures to ensure that armaments can be produced on European soil. The latest cutting-edge technology will mobilize the government to strengthen our armies as soon as possible and accelerate reindustrialization in all of our countries.
Okay, so you hear what he's saying. He's talking about amplifying the military buildup of Europe so that they can go ahead and create this quote-unquote peacekeeping force on their own in case they feel like Donald Trump's just going to abandon Europe altogether. No, all Trump is asking for is peace, and he's asking for NATO to step up and pay the bills. Okay? But what Macron is saying here is that, we can't count on that, so we're just going to go ahead and go it alone, effectively bringing us even closer to World War III by militarizing Europe with its own European army.
Work together with the enterprises in these sectors in the coming days. So, Europe's defense sector, which we've been asking for the last 8 years, will have to become a reality to allow European countries to defend and protect themselves, to produce the equipment they need in their countries, to allow them to cooperate more, and to allow them to reduce their dependence on outside actors.
Outside actors. He's talking about the United States. Okay, so this is on my X account. It's a 13-minute clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you guys get the gist of what he's talking about. Okay, so we're going to continue to. I'll play a little bit more, but let's keep going.
Germany, Poland, Denmark, Baltic states, and many of our partners have announced unprecedented efforts in terms of military spending. So as we look ahead to these actions, France has to recognize its special status. We have the most efficient, effective army in Europe. Because of the choices made by our forefathers after the Second World War, we have a nuclear deterrent, which protects us a lot more than many of our other neighbors. But we didn't expect, or rather, it wasn't necessary to await the invasion of Ukraine.
He's talking about, we have a nuclear deterrent. Really? Yeah. Does that give you guys any peace of mind there? Listen, we just want peace. Okay, we don't want nuclear war. We don't want World War III. Okay, so let's just get this whole thing resolved. I mean, President Trump is doing amazing things in the United States, an economic revival, peace. But it's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about American families keeping their homes. It's about workers returning to manufacturing jobs with dignity and purpose. It's about the restoration of our nation's industrial base, the foundation of our national security and sovereignty. When Trump met with freed hostages this week, they didn't talk politics. They said simply, thank God for you. Thank God for your election. That's the difference real leadership makes. Not in poll numbers, but in human lives saved. Meanwhile, France is, amplifying their military buildup. So I ask you tonight, how many more American livelihoods and actual lives will be saved by having real leadership back in the White House? Share your thoughts below. And show your support for America's economic comeback with our MAGA Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked down below. Grab a hat, grab a shirt, and show the world you stand with real news. Wow. That was a rough segment. Wow. Okay, and you guys are out of control already. I can see. I don't know what you guys are doing in the super chat world, but I mean, Deborah Myers gifting 5 memberships, and we had okay, all right. Let's what? I can't even. You guys are flooding my super chats with all these membership gifts. Juan, dude, what are you doing? What? What? Okay, I'm trying to keep track here. Okay, I don't even know where to begin because like you guys have completely disrupted my entire show flow. I mean, okay, 50 Next News Network memberships. That was like an hour ago, and then another 50, and another 50. Okay, so I got to go to the beginning. All right, we got more news to get to. So you guys, please, I love you guys doing this, but okay, you guys just like watching me get flustered. I know, Juan, you got something going on. Okay, Okay, let me just figure this out. I'm scrolling through it all. I can't even get through it. Shay, Max Power, Old Dirty. Okay, another 50. So there's 50 there, and that's 100. What? Oh my goodness. You guys are freaking nuts. Okay. So Scooby Dragon just became a member on his own accord. All right, Scooby, what's up? All right, so here's the message that Juan sent an hour ago. I gifted 100 memberships already. And then Will became a member, and Victor became a member, and Juan, Victor, and then gifted another 50. Dude, okay, so I'm scrolling through another 50 new members. 159 new members have joined because Juan is just off his chain today. Holy cow. Okay, $10. There you go. 150 new members. Trump dance. Dan Thompson has just become a member. Craig dropping $10. He says, "We love you, Mr. Franchi. We got emotional too. Did anyone miss me? I was at the Alamo, Nebraska, reporting for duty." And Deborah Myers dropping $10. Thank you, Gary, for all you do. We know it's hard to see the hostages. It's only human to react the way you do. We all are reacting. Thank you, Jesus, for President Trump. Thank you, Lord, for Gary and Angie, and for all they do for us. And Deborah Myers also gifting 5 memberships as well. Holy cow. Amazing stuff, you guys. You guys are just beautiful people, and I love you so much for everything you guys do to support this network. Okay, we got more news to get into. We got to cover some of these executive orders that were totally like, this was today at about 2:00. I got the message from the email, and I think one of the biggest developments is what happened with Perkins Coie. So let's get into this. The mainstream media has reached a new low, and tonight President Trump is fighting back. In an extraordinary moment today, Trump called out Nicole Wallace and Rachel Maddow for their disgraceful attacks on a 13-year-old cancer survivor who was honored during his address to Congress. They should be forced to resign. That's what he declared, and he's right. This is who they are now. These aren't journalists or activists who will attack a child with cancer if that child happens to admire the wrong president. Meanwhile, they obsess over petty vendettas. Trump is reshaping the American economy in real time. He announced $20 billion investment from shipping giant CMA CGM that will create 10,000 new American jobs, and that's not all. He also signed modifications to tariffs protecting American car manufacturers and farmers while simultaneously securing our American sovereignty. But I think the biggest story today is what just happened with Perkins Coie. Yeah, the people behind the Russia hoax. Now, have you noticed how the fake news media is aging right before our eyes? The stress of Trump's success is literally showing on their faces. And speaking of aging, a groundbreaking 2024 study has revealed that collagen can dramatically improve skin health. Women taking daily collagen report fewer wrinkles, firmer skin, and better hydration. But not all collagen is created equal. The science-backed formula that I use has transformed my skin. You can see it, right? It's helping me look years younger. Unlike store-bought options, this multi-collagen formula features 5 essential types from 4 premium sources, supporting everything from wrinkle reduction to improved elasticity. It's easily digestible, non-GMO, and free of artificial ingredients. So take advantage of today's 51% discount at healthwithgary.com and start your journey to youthful skin now. Okay, that's Health with Gary. It's linked down below. We thank our sponsors for supporting this program and you for watching and sharing everything we do. This is the big news today. Donald Trump, 5 hours ago, signing an executive order suspending the security clearances for employees at Perkins Coie, which played a key role in the Russia hoax. Oh, yes. Watch this.
Has made it a priority. Sir, your administration has made it a priority both to end lawfare and the weaponization of government and also to hold those who have engaged in lawfare accountable. One of the law firms that has been involved in that is called Perkins Coie. That's also a law firm that has engaged in unlawful DEI practices. This executive order will suspend security.
And I've watched it take place.
This executive order will suspend security clearances and access to certain federal resources for that law firm and also launch a holistic review of unlawful DEI practices at some of the nation's largest law firms.
This is an absolute honor to sign. What they've done is it's just terrible. It's weaponization. You could say weaponization against a political opponent, and it should never be allowed to happen again. And you're looking at about 15 different firms?
That or more, sir, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Sir, your administration
Perkins Coie. Yeah, the ones behind the Russia collusion hoax, the fake dossier that Hillary Clinton helped fund. Yeah, all their security clearances have now been revoked. It's going to make it very difficult for them to continue any more false narratives. Thank God this is occurring. President Trump clearly taking it back, taking power back from the deep state in real time. And you just witness history right there. You know, they're all freaking out in that law firm tonight. Here we have, this is President Trump talking about fake news on CNN. No surprise.
I thought it was very embarrassing for the Democrats what happened the other night. And that's not said for any other reason other than it's obvious, it's fact. Even CNN fake news said that. They came out and they said it. I thought it was very embarrassing for the Democrats.
Oh, of course, what he's talking about is what we saw with respect to just the spectacle from the Democrats at his joint address to Congress. Here we have the Prince of Fox News, Peter Doocy. Funny story, when I saw Peter Doocy in the White House press room the other day, the conference had just finished, and he was walking past me, and I'm like, there goes the Prince of Fox News. He laughed. Anyway, let's listen.
I'm sure that they will see this in space. What is your message?
We love you, and we're coming up to get you, and you shouldn't have been up there so long. The most incompetent president in our history has allowed that to happen to you, but this president won't let it happen. We're going to get them out. We're coming up to get you. I've authorized Elon. I said, can you get them out? Because, you know, they've been left up there. I hope they like each other. But maybe they'll love each other. I don't know. But they've been left up there. Think of it. And I see the woman with the wild hair, a good solid head of hair she's got. There's no kidding. There's no games with her hair. But, and you know, there's a danger up there, too. They can have some failures up there that would be very bad. You got to get them out. So I've authorized Elon a week ago. I said, you know, we have 2 people up there that Biden and Kamala left up there, and he knows it very well. I said, are you equipped to get him? He said, yeah, he's got a Starship, and they're preparing it right now. And so Elon is going to go up and get him. Should I go on that journey just to be on the ship when we stop?
If that's an option, yes.
I should do it. Oh, that's terrible. I thought he liked me. I thought he liked me. I thought, Maria, should I do it?
Well, you should then come.
Maria likes me better.
President Trump, you should then come back from space.
Well, when they come back, I'll greet them. How about that? No, we're going to get them out. I've authorized Elon Musk to go and get them, and he's prepared to do so.
Okay, so he's talking about the astronauts that were abandoned by Joe Biden in space. Donald Trump's got to fix that. He's called on Elon Musk, and he's like, should he go up in the rocket ship with them? That would provide too many opportunities for the deep state to fill out their final plan for. Anyway, so Trump is getting ready to rescue astronauts. Joe Biden left. Here we have, this is Trump demolishing the fake news losers, Nicole Wallace and Rachel Maddow.
They have lost. Worse than CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. And the good news is very few people watch them anymore. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said, I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear, but certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them. But what they said the other day, they should be forced to resign about that young person who is suffering greatly. Worse than CNN is.
Yeah, they were talking about DJ, the cancer survivor. Okay, this is all happened in the Oval Office today. He was asked about the TikTok deal. Let's listen.
I will approve of the deal.
If the TikTok deal was not made on the timeline you gave, will you extend that?
Probably, yeah. Probably. I think, look, we have a lot of interest in TikTok. And China is going to play a role. And so hopefully China will approve of the deal. But they're going to play a role. But we have a lot of interest in TikTok.
How long will you extend it, and how close are you to?
Well, we'll see. But if I need, I don't. Right now, we have at least another month, so we don't need an extension. But if I needed an extension, I'd probably get it extended. Yeah.
So TikTok getting a reprieve if an order is not signed. Here we have more Trump signing modifications on tariffs to protect American car manufacturers and American farmers. Let's check this out.
In Mexico, in order to protect American car manufacturers and American farmers, we have two modifications to the IEEPA tariffs that have already been announced against Canada and Mexico. This first order relates to Canada. Essentially, what it will allow for is the flow of parts and sub-assembly products into America to allow American car manufacturers to continue building cars. It basically excludes USMCA eligible goods from existing tariffs, and also in order to help our farmers at this crucial time of year, we're going to be reducing the tariff imposed on Canadian potash from 25% to 10%. So this is a modification to our tariff regime to protect American car manufacturers and American farmers.
It basically makes it more fair for our car manufacturers during the short-term period before April 2nd. April 2nd is a little bit different. That will be much more significant. But during this interim period between now and April 2nd, this makes it much more favorable for our American car manufacturers. Okay.
I love the sound of that Sharpie hitting that paper. I don't know about you, but I love it.
Can you see that, Peter? Look, nice to be tall, Peter, right?
I see right over it.
You can see it so nice. That's why he's such a gentleman. He doesn't have to rush. Okay.
And this is the same just for Mexico, sir, the previous one.
Same thing for Mexico.
That's exactly
one for
right.
Canada, one for Mexico.
Yes, sir.
They've been in the news lately, haven't they? And I spoke to the president of Mexico, wonderful woman, today, and we helped them out with the problem they were having to do with the tariffs, short-term tariffs. And we had a very good conversation. Also, we discussed drugs, and they've been working much harder lately. Do you notice that? on people coming in and drugs, and we've made tremendous progress on both.
Love the Sharpie.
In order to protect
Oh man, every time that Sharpie hits the paper, like America just becomes that much greater. Oh God, you gotta love it. Here's more. Oh man, what a moment today! I got the email from the White House, and they're like, President Trump signing executive orders. I'm like, this is going to be a great day, and we've got all the footage for you directly from the White House pool. Let's check it out. Here's more. Trump announces a $20 billion investment.
Today, we're delighted to be joined by Rodolphe Sade, the chairman and CEO of CMA CGM, one of the largest shipping companies in the world, probably number 2 in the world, probably going to be number 1 in the not too distant future, knowing him. They employ over 160,000 employees. They have 750 major container vessels worldwide. And I'm thrilled to announce that he's going to be investing $20 billion into the United States because of the election results, which comes along with a lot of other things like great protections and other things. This massive investment will go toward building out shipping logistics, infrastructure, and terminals, which will create an estimated 10,000 new jobs in America. It's so important because it's about shipping. You know, we lost our way for many years. We haven't done anything. We used to build a ship a day, and now we essentially don't build ships. We're going to start that, and we're going to be announcing next week or the week after a massive new program for building very large, the largest ships in the world. Today, we're delighted
and
to be joined
it's about time that we continue to make America great again, building up American infrastructure and our ships. President Trump also here an executive order suspending. Okay, we played that. What is this? American flags? People don't have American flags. They seem to have Panamanian. What's this? Okay, let's check this out.
Mr. President,
Why is it that more people don't have American flags? They seem to have Panamanian flags and Liberian flags. They don't seem to have a lot of American flags.
But this will change, Mr. President. You will have more ships with U.S. flag as we move forward, and you can count on us to do as much as we can.
That's very good. It's true. The other countries take advantage of us even on that. So we're going to be changing that around, and I appreciate you coming up and even bringing it to our attention. It's really a great thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Appreciate it. Why is it that more people don't have...
Let's keep going. We've got more. The chairman of the shipping giant CMA CGM. This is what he had to say.
We'll be making also announcements. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yes, indeed, we are CMA CGM, one of the leaders in shipping and logistics around the world. We are very enthusiastic about this big announcement of today. We are investing $20 billion in shipping and logistics. This means the creation of 10,000 new American jobs. We're also looking at investing in shipbuilding of container vessels, and we most probably will be making also announcement in the next coming weeks. And we would like also, Mr. President, to go for more U.S. flag vessels, and we will go from 10 that we operate today to 30 U.S. flag ships, and hopefully doing more in the months to come.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, see, look, Trump knows what he's doing. I mean, it's happening in real time. Okay, big investments coming to the United States. I mean, what is this? An executive order? Okay, we played that. I mean, listen, guys, the Oval Office was on fire today, and you're seeing just a portion of what we were able to bring you with respect to that. So let's keep going. Let's see here. So anyway, what we're witnessing is a president who refuses to let false narratives go unchallenged while simultaneously driving historic economic progress. Trump is demonstrating that strength on the world stage translates directly to prosperity at home. His executive order suspending security clearances for Perkins Coie employees, the firm behind the Russia hoax, shows he is serious about accountability. Meanwhile, his actions on tariffs and trade are already bearing fruit. As CMA CGM chairman stated today, you'll have more ships with U.S. flags as we move forward. More American ships, more American jobs, more American prosperity. And it raises the question, why would anyone oppose policies that are so clearly benefiting American workers? When will the mainstream media acknowledge these undeniable successes? Drop a comment below. And show your support for honest media with our Next News Network gear. It's available at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. You'll find it linked below. Grab a hat, grab a shirt, and show the world you stand with real news. Okay, folks, that was segment 2. Closing it out. What is going on here? What are you guys doing? 195 new members. Crying Watchman dropping $50 over on Rumble, which is like we hardly ever see like this kind of action from Rumble. So Crying Watchman, thank you for that. And who was this? Craig gifted 5 Next News Network memberships. Sure, you could only afford one. Juan and Craig showing him up. I don't know what is one membership cost. I don't even know. Sure, you. I'm just busting your balls. Love all 131 dropping gifting 10 Next News Network memberships just a little while ago, and it just keeps going and going and going. You guys are awesome. Juan Ruiz 17 minutes ago dropping another 20 memberships. Jeez, you guys are wild. I love you guys. You just keep blowing my mind every single day. Okay, we got more news to get to on the DOGE front, and this is really cool. Okay, this is actually really big news here. I just want to check one thing. Okay, let's keep going. What happens when America's most effective president teams up with its most innovative entrepreneur? Well, we're finding out in real time, and the establishment is terrified. President Trump and Elon Musk joining forces to dismantle the bureaucratic waste that's been draining American prosperity for decades. Musk is now strategizing with the House DOGE panel to cut $1 trillion in wasteful government spending. Not a typo, $1 trillion of your money that's been funding the administrative state, disappearing into foreign aid black holes or funneled into left-wing pet projects, and it's working. This House Majority Whip Tom Emmer reports, anecdotally based on what I'm hearing back from my district, it's about 70 to 75% excited and happy that it's actually happening. But it's not just about cutting waste. It's about reimagining how government works in the 21st century. And wait till you find out who I bumped into right here in Washington, D.C. And you know all this talk about Musk and Trump tackling government waste, it reminds me that we need to eliminate wasteful approaches to pain management too. If you're suffering from chronic pain like many Americans, listen very carefully. There's a little known turmeric hack that's changing everything. While regular turmeric may help slightly, a Connecticut pain doctor discovered a special extract that's 200 times more powerful than standard turmeric. This extract attacks pain at its source, shutting it off like a light switch. Dr. Josh has spent over 20 years helping hundreds of thousands of Americans break free from constant aches and stiffness using this revolutionary approach. Forget expensive surgeries and addictive medications. This natural solution is changing lives. I've experienced the difference myself. Learn about Dr. Josh's turmeric hack and how to implement it by visiting goldenrevive.com/NNN today. It's linked down below, and just watch the free video. Okay, check this out. Here it is. Who did I run into? Oh, Carrie Lake. Holy cow. I had just finished my show, and I bump into Carrie Lake, and I'm like, holy cow. And I looked at her. I said, wait a second. You're Carrie Lake. Oh, my goodness. And I was like, okay, admittedly, I was kind of like fanboying out because, I love Carrie Lake. As you know, I was advocating for her to be a vice presidential selection early on. And she had some huge news to share with me because I was asking her like, hey, you were appointed to the head of Voice of America. Remember, she was going to have this massive role to be able to control the narrative at Voice of America News. Well, there were some complications apparently, and now she is the head of the. This is okay. So anyway, I'm kind of running ahead of myself, but. We connected, and she sent me this tweet this morning privately, and this is the news inside the Voice of America. Government employees, this is from Matthew Foldy. Government employees told me that the fate of Voice of America and America's government-run media is now in the hands of Carrie Lake, a woman who they say hates the media. Insiders at the U.S. Agency for Global Media told me that they are dealing with a nightmare scenario. Trump's pick for VOA director, who is held up by rules keeping Lake out of that role, is now in an even more powerful position after Trump named Lake as his senior advisor overseeing the entire agency. Talk about dropping a bomb, right? Okay, so like Trump found it, he figured out a way. Okay, so they're not gonna let her just roll right into Voice of America. So we'll just put her over Voice of America. This is solid gold. The quote here: "I don't know if she's trying to save us or destroy us." One said, "She brought in DOGE and doesn't seem interested in making friends at the agency." So, what does that tell you? She brings in the DOGE boys, and it's time to just cut, and streamline, right? So I'm excited to see this. I'm personally excited to see that Kari Lake is now in a position of true authority where she can kick ass. If you remember, when she was getting screwed left and right in Arizona. They stole the election from her. We had to delete videos because you couldn't talk about these things. I mean, we were right there at the front of the line fighting tooth and nail to expose what was happening to Kari Lake. And now she has a seat at the table where she is going to help President Trump cut the waste, fraud, and abuse right here in the swamp. This is beautiful. Okay, what else have we got going on? We got CNN's Van Jones. Oh, Scott Jennings. Oh, please. Scott Jennings dismissing claims of government-funded. What?
It's real. One thing we should note is that Elon Musk got a huge ovation at the State of the Union, but when he got in the room with those members of Congress yesterday, it was apparently much less effusive because they were worried. The fact is that if you ask Americans, should we eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse from the government, you'll get a lot of response for that. If you start defining waste, fraud, and abuse as things that they value and workers that are essential, they're going to have a much different view. So the initial blush of Musk with his chainsaw may have had some resonance. The fact that he's cutting down stuff indiscriminately, less so.
Well, it's not all indiscriminate. I mean, we don't really need the transgender mice, do we? I mean,
that's not even real.
It is real. I'm sorry, man. It's real.
It's not. No, listen.
Is it real or not?
Hey, hold on a second.
Did we have to say it was real or not?
No. Hold
it's real.
I mean, Musk was a shield.
How about the
That's a real thing.
No,
so,
look,
my point is...
listen, they weren't talking about transgender.
Don't defend the mice.
No. Listen, you don't want to talk about it? We don't talk about it. But it wasn't transgender. It was a different term that was misinterpreted as transgender. They were actually doing basic medical experiments on mice to figure out...
Don't spoil a good troll.
It's just not true.
Jennings is having a good troll. Don't spoil it.
Here's the point. They have found some things.
Yes.
And the greatest public relations advice I could give them is this. You found stuff, you're going to find more stuff, and there's going to come a point where you could take this to the Congress and have a really good hearing and a really good public display. That is the next iteration.
For the record, this is.
And we have more incredible views of the Starship Super Heavy in space and Earth provided by Starlink Internet. Yes, Elon Musk, the head of DOGE, is also launching rocket ships. Gotta love this guy. Yeah, there's my picture with me and Kari Lake. What a moment. I was totally fanboying out. Probably freaked her out a little bit, but I know she's watching this right now. Kari, listen, let's keep talking. We've got a lot of work to do, and I want to help you advance the agenda. Okay, Elon Musk, 19 hours ago, quote tweeting the Tesla owners of Silicon Valley, "I will fight and die in America." Elon Musk, there he is, posing with some soldiers. It appears to be a real photograph, not an AI-generated one. Here we have this from Representative Byron Donalds talking about overspending in the federal government. This is on CNN.
When you have to unwind
the terrible inflation from the previous administration, you have to go through several processes, like I've laid out. The first piece is what DOGE is doing, giving Congress a list of areas where we can make immediate cuts to the betterment of our economy and to the American consumer. When you massively overspend federally, you inject more dollars into the system, you create inflation. That's the way it works. That's what Joe Biden did. We have to squeeze that out. Tariff policy is a piece of that that's raising revenue into our coffers through other means than just raising taxes to help stabilize the federal balance sheet here on Capitol Hill. So those things work together. And so I think it's important for people to understand as we work through the changes that our economy needs, it will create a more stable economy that grows organically with its own efforts as opposed to being reliant on government stimulus. More government stimulus is only going to yield more inflation. When you have to unwind.
Yeah, that's exactly true. The more government spends, the more government stimulus, it just increases the money supply. It's pretty simple economics, but some people, it's just too difficult for them to understand. Elon Musk, here we have Lynn P. Elon Musk strategizes $1 trillion spending cuts with House DOGE panel in closed-door meeting. Discussions include a strategy to push through the cuts despite potential legal challenges. President Trump hailing Elon Musk's team at the DOGE. Thank you very much. Here's some screenshots. Musk strategizing $1 trillion in spending cuts. Elon Musk, Fox News, strategizing $1 trillion spending cuts with House DOGE panel in closed-door meeting. DOGE looks to make $1 trillion in spending cuts, and the executive DOGE team is confident they can get $1 trillion. He acknowledged we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to correct them quickly. DOGE reported savings right now, estimated savings right now, $105 billion. Amount saved per taxpayer, $652. And we're just getting started, folks. What else have we got going on here? Let's keep going in the DOGE. Here we have Democrat strategist. This is Thomas Hearn posting this clip from CNN. Democrat strategist Alencia Johnson picked a fight with Scott Jennings, and he ran circles around her until Caitlin Collins decided to end the segment.
How did we? I think they acknowledge as they go. They've obviously updated the information they've put out on their website. And I think they have some political leash here to make a few mistakes because people look at this government. I mean, today we spend about $6.2 trillion. In 2019, we spent $4.45 trillion. How did we go from $4.5 trillion to $6.2 trillion?
Tax
just the
cuts,
last 5 years. No, this is spending. This is federal spending. And so, and on the VA memo,
these mistakes are impacting everyone's lives, like literal lives.
On the VA memo that we've been talking about, these job cuts. If you read the memo, they're going back to 2019 staffing levels. The VA operated in 2019. We somehow lived with those staffing levels.
Yeah, but you know it was passed in between then. The PACT Act, which is to help burn pit victims.
I know.
That's why it expanded.
I know, but here's the point that Republicans are making.
Yeah, but that's more people who needed eligible, who were eligible to.
Do we need 70,000 federal workers to cover it? My question, and what the Republicans are asking, is simply this. Is it not possible for us to approach getting back to 2019 spending levels, or maybe did we go too far with the size of government? It always gets bigger. It never gets smaller. There will be sob stories. There will be sad stories. But overall fiscal health of this country matters.
It can't be a talking point that these are sob stories. These are, again, people's livelihoods and also the health of this country, right? They have some of these mistakes that people keep talking about are gutting our agencies that are taking care of, I don't know, paying attention to the bird flu, Ebola, these things that actually can have detrimental impacts on the American people.
We have Ebola in the United States?
Well, we are helping the world be a safer place as well, Scott.
I mean, on the bird.
Wait a second. Can you show me the constitutional mandate that we have to do that for the world? Yeah, see, that's the disconnect that these Democrats have.
You know, Biden slaughtered all the chickens. I don't know if there's any left to kill.
On
that note.
Come on, Scott.
It was a bloodbath. You all love that word.
You can laugh about this, but these are things that people are actually scared about. I mean, measles is coming back. There's so many things that are happening that our federal government makes sure.
Oh, yeah. Measles is coming back. Oh, he's all going to die. Right? Yeah, these are fear tactics on CNN. Scott Jennings just taking them apart. Caitlin Jennings is trying to reel it in.
Musk caused the measles?
I am saying what is happening in this government right now with Donald Trump appointing...
You saying Donald Trump caused the measles?
I am saying that what is happening in this federal government under Donald Trump, allowing Elon Musk and allowing all these people that he appointed to run this government like this, is actually making us unsafer for the American
Elon
people.
caused the measles. You heard it here first.
Here. Scott Johnson, not what you said.
Well, I think they...
Oh, wow. Yeah, Elon Musk causes measles, please. Of course, he's calling them out to their faces on CNN. Here we have 12 hours ago, Rapid Response 47. President Trump claims $180 billion savings for Americans through deregulation efforts, and it's only the beginning. GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer on the DOGE. Oh, God, I love DOGE.
Is actually happening? Well, I would say anecdotally, based on what I'm hearing back from my district, it's about a 75% excited and happy that this is actually happening. They've been waiting for it for a long time. And you're right. You've got these activists. Many of them are paid activists. They represent different groups that have been making their money off the government for decades, and they don't want to see this happen. So they're literally trying to create some opposition that just doesn't exist. And I would go back to the president's speech the other night, which they wanted to pan. They wanted to be negative about it. I think depending on which poll you were looking at, 68 to 76% of Americans thought that was great. That's exactly what they want to hear. He made promises, Joe, and he is delivering on those promises. And the Americans that voted for him, 77 million Americans, are really happy about it.
Oh, yeah. The mandate is real, and we are experiencing it. What is this? Would be a shame if this video of Pocahontas exposing how corrupt she is went viral. What's this about? Let's find out.
Elon Musk wants everyone in America to be at the mercy of Elon Musk. We are here to fight back. Fight back. Fight back. When that much money disappears, it's usually because somebody broke some laws somewhere. But if we don't look, if we don't ask, if we don't uncover it and make it all public, we'll never find out. Elon Musk wants...
Elizabeth Warren, 2009 versus 2025. Yeah, it would be a shame if that went viral, right? Okay, we've got some more to get into. Here is the VA Secretary, Doug Collins. The days of kicking the can down the road are over.
Media for decades. Hey everybody, it's Doug. I've always promised you I was going to shoot straight with you, and you're going to always hear it from me. Well, I got a bit longer message for you today, so just bear with me because you'll want to hear what I'm going to say. The VA has been a punching bag among veterans, Congress, and the media for decades. Things need to change. We owe America's veterans and the hundreds and thousands of excellent VA employees solutions. For many years, veterans have been asking for a more efficient, accountable, and transparent VA. This administration is finally going to give the veterans what they want. President Trump has a mandate for generational change in Washington, and that's exactly what we're going to deliver at the VA. We're going to make the department work better for the veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors we are charged with serving. And here's how we're going to do it. In response to President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency and Workforce Optimization Initiative, VA is conducting a department-wide review of its organization, operations, and structure. Central to these efforts is a pragmatic and disciplined approach to eliminating waste and bureaucracy, increasing efficiency, and improving health care, benefits, and services to veterans. This will be a thorough and thoughtful review based on input from career VA employees, senior executives, as well as the top VA leaders. Our goal is to reduce VA employment levels to 2019 in-strength numbers, roughly 398,000 employees, from our current level of approximately 470,000 employees. Now that's a 15% decrease. We're going to accomplish this without making cuts to health care or benefits to veterans and VA beneficiaries. VA will always fulfill its duty to provide veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors the health care and benefits they have earned. That's a promise. And while we conduct our review, VA will continue to hire for more than 300,000 mission-critical positions to ensure health care and benefits for VA beneficiaries are not impacted. There are many people complaining about the changes we're making at the VA. But what most of them are really saying is, let's just keep doing the same thing at the VA has always done. No, not going to happen. The days of kicking the can down the road and measuring VA's progress by how much money it spends and how many people it employs rather than how many veterans it helps are over. Here's just one example. We're conducting a comprehensive review of the VA's 90,000 contracts, which are worth more than $67 billion. After reviewing roughly 2% of those contracts, we were able to cancel nearly 600 non-mission critical or duplicative agreements that will save the department roughly $900 million. Just imagine how much more we'll be able to save after we review the rest of VA contracts. The money we're saving by eliminating non-mission critical and duplicative contracts is money we're going to redirect to veteran-facing healthcare, benefits, and services, resulting in massive improvements in customer service and convenience.
Okay, that's exactly what I said. When they go ahead and they cut out all of these unnecessary jobs and contracts, it's going to provide more money to provide real services for veterans. It's that simple. So when they say, oh, he's going to cut all these jobs and contracts, the VA people are going to suffer, veterans are going to suffer, it's a lie. It's a lie. They're freeing up money so they can actually help.
Improving services to the veterans is exactly why the VA exists. That is what everyone, Congress, the media, and VA employees should be focused on. There have been a lot of news coverage regarding recent layoffs at the VA. Now, we regret anyone who loses their job, and it's extraordinarily difficult for me, especially as a VA leader and your secretary, to make these types of decisions. But the federal government does not exist to employ people. It exists to serve people. At the VA, we are focused on serving veterans better than ever before, and doing so requires changing and improving the organization. Look, the VA was never perfect, and it will never be perfect, but we can and will make it better. When we find problems, we will fix them. When we will communicate what we are doing to the public. That's what I'm doing right now. But we'll be making major changes, so get used to it. Right now, VA's biggest problem is that its bureaucracy and inefficiencies are getting in the way of customer convenience and service to veterans. As I have said before, we owe American veterans and hundreds of thousands of amazing employees solutions. And mark my words, that is what we will deliver.
Yeah, see, solutions are coming. Don't believe the lies when the mainstream media tries to feed them to you. Here we have more. This is Timcast News 11 hours ago. $375 billion being allocated to charities under the guise of addressing climate change.
18 million criminal charges. Donald Trump is considering criminal charges for USAID staff after DOGE uncovers wild abuse. Boy, do I got some stories for you. $18 million per month to an empty migrant facility. And how about...
Okay, we covered that the other day. Now criminal charges? Oh, please, please, please send some of these people to jail. I mean, the only way we're ever going to have accountability in Washington is if some of these folks are actually perp walked. Not getting promotions, perp walked.
The story of John Podesta's slush fund. We got Lee Zeldin at the EPA, and apparently they uncovered that, I think, was it $375 billion? Is that the number? Can I just jump to this real quick? Make sure I get the number right. $375 billion were being handed out to charities over climate change, and some of them had been formed only 1 month prior.
Wait. I want to go back to the headline. Look at that headline. $375 billion EPA slush fund, New York Post, handled by John Podesta, gave billions to charities founded only months earlier. No history of good work, no track record of executing on their mission, just suddenly giving billions of dollars to these charities that just pop up. Wow. $375 billion. Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach.
$1 billion were being handed out to charities over climate change, and some of them had been formed only 1 month prior. Doesn't sound real, does it? Now, as most of you know, Donald Trump has been calling out waste, fraud, and abuse. And the response we got from Democrats was, well, how do we know it's fraud? Criminal charges. Donald Trump.
Waste, fraud, and abuse is finally being addressed, like realistically being addressed, not lip service to on a campaign trail to constituents. Dinesh D'Souza, 10 hours ago, posting this. saying she's angry today, mainly because the get-rich scheme is coming apart. What's the point of going into politics if you can't loot the taxpayer, he asks. Why be a Democrat if you can't retire with millions of dollars? Hell hath no fury like a politician exposed. Oh, boy. Who is this?
In with elected rich. I am angry today. I am angry what I saw that president of the United States who ran and had people vote for him because he said he was going to cut their costs. He was going to make sure they had a chance at the American dream, has come in with an unelected, richest man on earth and taken a chainsaw to everything we care about. Everything the American.
That's exactly why we elected him, honey. All right, so you can keep furrowing your brow and feigning your anger, but the rest of us are celebrating. All right, so keep having your temper tantrum, honey.
Can people put their trust in him to do? It is a betrayal. It is a betrayal. So let's not talk about decorum when the plot is exposed and reiterated every single day.
No, the only thing getting exposed is you. You're the one getting exposed, lady. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. This is solid gold, man. Oh, okay. There's more. There's about 20 seconds left in this rant.
Take people's health care. You take our veterans' benefits. You take funding for our public schools, and you do it all of it, to give a tax cut to the very wealthiest people.
Oh, that's some more bullshit right there. You're giving tax cuts to the wealthiest people. Elon Musk is stealing from Social Security. I mean, you guys saw the clip at CPAC. Elon Musk yeah, I can finally now buy nice things. This is the richest man in the world. Anyway, these people are just out of their minds. Okay, keep going.
Who won't even notice it, but whose greed knows no bounds.
Greed? This is the greatest rhetoric ever. Elon Musk's greed is determining exactly how he's going to destroy this country. Yeah, this guy's getting ready to land us on frickin' Mars. Okay? And it's just greed. These people are out of their minds. Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza was right when he said that she was mad because they're all getting exposed. That's the reality of the situation here. What's this? Live from America TV. DOGE has canceled the lease of the Obama Library building, and Mayor Bowser of D.C. forced to remove the BLM painting on the street and rename the plaza. Ooh, the Obama Library? That's in Chicago. Let's see what's going on.
Has just Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here, LFA TV. We got some huge breaking news as it pertains to Barack Hussein Obama and the Department of Education. First, let's get to Barack Obama. DOGE and the Trump administration has just canceled the lease on the Obama Presidential Library building moving forward. So I don't know if that will be taken over by the Obama foundation. I don't know if that means the end of the Presidential Library, or if it'll be transferred over to a private lease. I'm not sure. But DOGE and President Trump to cut waste, fraud, abuse, and government pork. One of those things is to cancel the lease on the Obama Presidential Library. So, bye-bye. If you weren't born here, you shouldn't have a presidential library here. Number one. Number two, now that Linda McMahon has been confirmed as the Secretary of the Department of Education, President Trump is moving forward with completely abolishing the Department of Education. Now, a lot of people are really afraid about what this might mean for them if they are, working in the education field or, getting any kind of assistance or help from the Department of Education. But what that would mean is the education would go back to the states, and there'd be no such thing as federal oversight. So getting back to the Obamas, remember when Michelle Obama yanked public school funding for free lunches if schools didn't allow boys to go to the bathroom in girls' restrooms. That kind of stuff will end. There'll be no more federal government oversight. And ever since the inception of the Department of Education at a federal level, the education in this country has decreased and dropped significantly. We're not first in anything anymore except for cancer and diabetes. So, long story short, we are removing the corruption from this country. We are giving the power back to the states, which in effect will give power back to the people. Winning, ladies and gentlemen, winning. For more on that and much more, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from America, rumble.com and X.
Dude, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Obama's people are probably freaking out right now, as are all of the Democrats. We have this too. Eric Darty posting, shocking CNN data analyst is perplexed at how popular Elon Musk's Doge is.
The majority say that he and they should. How about approve of Trump trying to cut staff at government agencies? Again, you get a majority here, 51%. So yeah, Elon Musk might not be that popular, but these cuts and the idea of spending cuts, at least within the federal government and cutting at government agencies, that actually has majority support. I was truly surprised by this, Kate, but the numbers are the numbers.
Well, there is a view that cuts across Democrat and Republican of people thinking that Washington is too big, bloated federal government, waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, those are drain the swamp is what people run on over and over again. How do they feel? What do they think they're actually cutting?
Yeah, what do they think they're actually cutting? Democrats want to argue that the type of spending that Musk is cutting is mainly necessary programs, but that comes in at just 36%. The wasteful spending actually wins the plurality here at 42%, according to a recent Washington Post Ipsos poll. And I think that is the reason why you see that when it comes to Musk and Doge, you see, in fact, the majority believe he should have some influence because they believe, the plurality believe, that he is cutting wasteful spending, not necessary programs that Democrats are arguing.
Tomato, tomato. I do like Dusk and Moj, though. I think we need to keep that around. But the definition of wasteful is, I think, what is really starting to come into play.
Correct.
What people, necessary to one is wasteful to another. We are seeing that and finding that. How are Americans feeling about the size of the government?
Yeah, so what is exactly going on here? What is sort of driving these numbers underneath? Government is doing too much or too little. Back in 2020, when Trump lost re-election, 54% said too little. By the time he won re-election in 2024, look at that. Too much won the majority at 55%. It was the inverse. So I think there's this real push from the American public to want spending at the U.S. government to drop. And I think that's part of the reason why they're giving Musk and Doge that majority, at least at this point, when it comes to his influence over federal government
They're giving
spending.
him running room on this, but that's why I think these numbers show why transparency and what is actually being done and why the problems of they've made mistakes and putting things up on their wall of receipts that didn't actually happen or not, why that is so important and critical.
I think that's exactly right. We'll have to wait and see what happens. What's popular one moment may not be the next. We'll see.
Could change quickly. Good to see you.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that the American people are going to continue to celebrate all these things, just like I celebrated my moment with Carrie Lake last night. How cool was that? And I have a feeling this is the beginning of a very beautiful friendship. So the partnership between Trump and Musk, speaking of friendships, it represents something truly revolutionary in American politics, a government that's being run like a high-performance business rather than a bloated bureaucracy. Voice of America, taxpayer-funded media outlet that's become a mouthpiece for globalist propaganda, is reportedly now in the hands of Carrie Lake, a fierce critic of media bias who knows exactly how the game is played. Meanwhile, Trump's deregulation efforts have already saved Americans an estimated $180 billion. So think about that number. That's money back in the pockets of working families, small business, and American industry. It's no wonder CNN's data analysts are perplexed by the popularity of these moves. The question is, why should government efficiency be controversial at all? Shouldn't both parties be supporting eliminating waste and corruption? Drop your thoughts below. And celebrate the efficiency revolution with our MAGA Avengers gear. That is Elon Musk right there with Congressman Ron Paul. We got our Next News hat. We got our MAGA Avengers hat. grab some gear, show the world that you stand with real news on the next news network. I want to see you wearing this hat. No, this one over here. I want to see you wearing this hat on the street. Okay, that's how we identify each other. All right, we'll see you at the next report. Okay, Tom B 420 dropping $10. He says, thanks, Gary and team N3 Army for life. What's up? Yeah, wasn't that a cool little story about bumping into Carrie Lake? I mean, she was like, when I saw her, she's like, "Are you one of the good guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am." Oh man, because I mean, you never know who you're going to bump into in DC. So she wasn't sure if like I was some like radical leftist or something, whatever. But I made sure that she knew that I was safe to talk to. Okay, we got some more news to get into. We got to get into what's the latest with ICE because, like, we have all these topics. It feels sometimes redundant, but the reality is, like, these are the main things that President Trump promised to take care of with DOGE, with immigration, with the economy. So we cover these things because it's constantly changing. There's constantly new news every single day, and it's all really good news for the most part, and it's exciting. So let's get into our next topic of the evening on the front of ice. Yes, an ice storm is coming to America. While the previous administration allowed our southern border to become a superhighway for drugs, human trafficking, and terrorism, President Trump is taking decisive action that's already saving American lives. And the numbers don't lie. Since Trump took office, the U.S. Coast Guard has interdicted an astonishing 60,000 pounds of, well, that stuff, and other deadly substances. Secretary Kristi Noem confirmed this today, acknowledging the Coast Guard's critical role in fighting the crisis. But it's not just about drug interdiction. Trump's comprehensive border security strategy is targeting the cartels at every single level, from their financing to their operations. Quote, President Trump's strategy is working. That's from Rapid Response 47. The cartels are feeling the heat, but there's much more left to do. The work includes addressing the national security catastrophe left behind by the previous administration. And if you're suffering from pain in this fentanyl crisis era, please listen carefully. Just as President Trump is fighting the deadly epidemic with unprecedented force, top medical experts have unveiled a natural pain reliever that's revolutionizing pain management. 100% drug-free Canalidine. Unlike dangerous opioids that have fueled the crisis Trump is now tackling, Canalidine optimizes your body's natural painkillers, called endorphins, providing full body relief without harmful side effects or addiction risk. Over 100 million Americans, including UFC fighters, have already discovered its power. The safe, legal alternative has been proven effective through 14 years of clinical research. So why continue suffering when Trump is securing our borders and you can secure your pain relief? Try Canalidine for less than $1 a day through our special link, trycano.com/NNN. It's down below. It's linked in the description because you have nothing to lose but your pain. Okay, let's jump into this. We got a local news report. This is published by Illegal Alien Crimes 48 hours ago. A man accused of stabbing a high schooler. Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh boy. Here's the local report.
Dino Ponce has been. We are following a big arrest in a Tequila teenager's murder. So we first showed you this video when it happened on January 10th. Medics trying to save a teen's life after he was stabbed and then just left to die outside of an apartment complex in Tequila. Well, now an arrest has been made 2 states away in Utah. The FBI Safe Streets task force spearheading that manhunt and learned the suspect fled to Utah. Well, officers there spotted 20-year-old Jose Antonio Cedino Ponce at a business in Utah County. They were able to arrest him there. According to court docs, Cedino Ponce drove to a spot in Tequila to fight with high schoolers and came armed with a knife. And during that fight, police say he stabbed and killed 16-year-old Alan Jailer. Now, Cedino Ponce has been charged with second-degree murder. He is still in Utah awaiting extradition. Meanwhile, the victim's family has set up a GoFundMe. You can find this on our website. We are following a big arrest in a...
Heartbreaking. Well, now he's on an immigration detainer hold. Here's another 24 hours ago. Man arrested for negligent homicide after suspected DUI crash, also on an immigration detainer hold.
The three vehicles. If a man suspected in a deadly drunken driving crash pays his $1.5 million bond, he will remain in jail. The three-vehicle crash happened Thursday night around 10 in the 2100 block of East Matthews Avenue. Court documents said a vehicle driven by Arturo Chacon struck two separate vehicles while driving into oncoming traffic. One of the other drivers, Larry Traylor, died in the crash. Chacon faces a charge of negligent homicide, among other charges. The affidavit said Immigration Control Enforcement placed a no bond hold on Chacon. If a man,
these people should not even be in this country. I mean, what these two reports, local reports we just showed you, you're not going to see that on the national news ever, illustrate the destruction that Joe Biden's policies have unleashed on this nation that President Trump is trying to rein in. Thankfully, they have detainer holds now placed on them. Oh my goodness, we have more. 12 hours ago, Miami-Dade County, Florida, Venezuelan national and suspected Tren de Aragua member has been charged in federal court with possessing a firearm as an illegal alien. Look at this guy. Wow. Illegal alien possessing firearms, Tren de Aragua. Yeah. Get him out of here. Another one. Oh my goodness. What? This is Craighead County, Arkansas. Late last month, Arturo Chacon Montiel arrested for negligent homicide. This was the same report we just played for you, the local report. Here's another one. Pearl River County, Missouri, last month. Guo Huang, arrested for false pretenses and disorderly conduct. He could face federal charges related to the case, also subject to deportation proceedings. Yeah, look at this guy. There's the mugshot right there. Unbelievable. Here's another one. 8 hours ago, Martin County, Florida, illegal alien and Chilean national Jean Stefano arrested in connection to a 2023 burglary connected to DNA samples left at the crime scene. And here he is doing his perp walk. Let's take a look at, it must be a local report. Look at that. Yeah, hide your head in shame, dude. Hide your head in shame. Yeah, time for you to go too. It doesn't stop. I mean, this list goes on and on. What else have we got here for you? More illegal alien crimes. Teton County, Wyoming. As of Wednesday, the Teton County Sheriff's Office will comply with all detainer requests made by Immigration and Customs Enforcement instead of only those signed by a judge. Finally, we have these counties and these locales that are abiding by these detainer requests. President Biden, what was he doing? Just throw them out the window, release them back on the streets so they can unleash their terror campaigns upon the American people. President Trump clearly knows better. Collin County, Texas, in January, Hector Francisco, arrested for burglary of a building, criminal mischief. He has an immigration detainer hold as well. Here's more. 3 hours ago, illegal alien crimes. Woman charged with vehicular homicide on immigration detainer hold. Another one. I mean, the list goes on. Listen, folks, these are local reports. You don't hear these on the national news. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, none of them will play these, but you got to dig deeper into the local reports across the country to find out what's really happening. And thankfully, at least some of these local outlets are they're honest in presenting this fact. So let's check this out together. This is the local news.
Feet. Man,
Metro Police say 25-year-old Carla Guadalupe Armendariz is charged with vehicular homicide after she hit 65-year-old Charles Fountain and then just kept driving. Now, this happened Monday night on Old Hickory Boulevard near Firestone Parkway. Police say that Charles Fountain was an over-the-road truck driver who had parked his tractor trailer at the TA truck stop. He then decided to ride his electric scooter to a nearby Dollar General store, and he was headed back to the truck stop when police tell us he was hit by Guadalupe Armendariz, who was driving a Toyota pickup truck. And the truck, it dragged that scooter for more than 900 feet. And sometime later, a tip to Crime Stoppers helped police to find that pickup. It was parked at an apartment complex on Edmondson Pike. Guadalupe Armendariz admitted to drinking 6 beers and taking a prescription drug prior to that crash.
Yeah, straight to Gitmo for you, buddy. Straight to Gitmo, right there. Unbelievable. Here is, this looks like the mugshot of Guadalupe. And 7 hours ago, we have this. President Trump knows what he's doing. And this story from the New York Times is proof. Trump threats and Mexico's crackdown are hitting the Mexican cartel. Several cartel operatives said for the first time in years, they genuinely fear arrest or death at the hands of authorities. Criminal groups have not felt this level of pressure in such a long time. This is the New York Times publishing this. Criminal groups have not felt this level of pressure in such a long time, said Jaime Lopez, a security analyst based in Mexico City. In interviews, cartel operatives agreed. Some said they were selling off property and firing unessential personnel to make up for lost income from the dent in the fentanyl trade. Others said they were investing money in advanced equipment to detect American government drones, which the U.S. flew into Mexico during the Biden and Obama administrations as well. They continue. President Trump's strategy is working. The cartels are feeling the heat, but there's much more work left to do, and President Trump won't be satisfied until the deadly scourge of fentanyl into our country is eliminated once and for all. They state here, Trump's established deadline, quote, we're seeing the results of everything we could have seen in years being done in a month, Mr. Lopez said. The government is sending a message that when it really wants to, it can exert that kind of pressure. Well, where was Joe Biden like during all this? I mean, President Trump is really doing it. Here's Secretary Kristi Noem. 13 hours ago, since President Trump took office, USCG has interdicted 60,000 pounds of cocaine and other deadly drugs. Our men and women of the Coast Guard are on the front lines of the crisis. Look at her. There she is with the Coast Guard. Some amazing. Wow. Look at these pictures. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. This is what America First looks like in action, folks. We have more. Let's continue. This is also Alexa Henning. The Biden administration locked up just 8 out of 100 plus migrants with ties who crossed into the U.S. According to Tulsi Gabbard, because President Trump's leadership, we are now going to hunt down terror suspects and pick up the pieces left behind by the last administration. New York Post reporting that. Wow. Representative Brandon Gill asked Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson a damning series of questions that exposes exactly how left-wing he is and to what extent he supports illegal immigration. Oh boy, check this out. This was just published 11 hours ago.
I'll take that as a yes. I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes.
Brandon Johnson, the city's been a welcoming city. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, let's keep going. This is going to be good.
Next question.
And that's the policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
Take that as a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens?
Okay, now notice how Brandon Johnson is responding. He's calling the illegal aliens residents of Chicago. That's sort of his way around the law. But in fact, they're not residents. They're not even residents of this country. Okay, they are illegally here. So he's using that word as his loophole.
To vote in local elections.
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people
I'll
of Chicago.
take that as a yes. I've got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members. Next question. Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all women.
That is a yes as well. Your mayoral transition website mentioned support for creating a Chicago Board of Education non-citizen advisory board. Again, yes or no, do you support appointing non-citizens to government advisory boards?
I was invited here today to discuss welcoming cities.
Yes or no?
I was invited here to discuss welcoming cities.
This is a yes or no
If you're
question.
interested in asking me
You're not
questions
gonna
about the
filibuster.
welcoming
I'll
city,
take that as a
I'm
yes.
happy to
We're gonna
answer
move
those
on.
questions.
No, we're going to move on. As you know, President Trump, unlike the previous administration, has taken serious action to bring foreign criminal gangs to justice, to take our border back and to restore public safety in our communities. He designated 8 transnational criminal organizations and cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. These are groups like Tren de Aragua, MS-13, Sinaloa, other of some of the most grotesque and ruthless and brutal organizations in the world. You, as mayor of a sanctuary city, have been virtually giving favors to illegal aliens. Apparently, you support an enormous amount of taxpayer resources going to them as well. But you yourself have also received a lot of gifts. And for those of you who don't know, Mayor Johnson has a secret gift room that is not given access to the public or for access to the Office of Inspector General. I'd like to ask you a couple questions about that. Do you know everyone who's given you a gift since you became mayor?
The city of Chicago has had a policy for 40 years
yes or no question.
where there are individuals that would like to give gifts to
I'm
the
reclaiming
city
my
of
time.
Chicago,
I'm going to take that as
and we do not accept those
when
gifts.
did you become
we
mayor?
receive them on
No, I'm going
behalf
to reclaim my
of
time
the city
here.
of Chicago.
You're not going to filibuster here. When did you become mayor?
I was elected mayor of the city of Chicago in April of 2023, and I was sworn in May 15th of 2023.
On June 12th, 2023, you received Hugo Boss cufflinks and a personalized Mont Blanc pin. Do you know who gave you those?
So I did not receive those personally. The city of Chicago
You received those on behalf
and
of
that's
the city
right,
of
on behalf of the city of Chicago, as every
understand
mayor
the difference.
in the
Do you know
history of
who-
Chicago who has
Do you know who
provided
gave those
gifts
to the city of
Chicago.
Do you know who gave those to the city of Chicago?
So again, on behalf of the city of Chicago, there
It's
are
a yes
gifts
or no
that are
question.
received,
Do
but I
you?
do not
Do you-
accept. Those are not
So you
my
don't-
personal
so you
gifts.
don't know.
Those are the gifts of the city of
On March
Chicago,
18th,
and that's why you are aware that they exist, because they're
reclaim
within the
my
law.
time here, sir. On March 18th, 2024, you received a Gucci tote bag. Do you know who gave you that? Gave the city of Chicago that?
Again, I was here and I was invited.
I'll also
to
take that as
respond
no.
to the
On March
questions
19th,
around
2024,
welcoming
the
cities. I'm
city of
happy to answer
Chicago
any of those
received
questions.
A Givenchy bag, a Kate Spade purse, and Carucci shoes. Do you know who gave the city of Chicago those?
Again, I was brought.
I'll take
brought
that
my
as a no.
energy
I'm
here
reclaiming my
to
time
respond
here, sir. I
on
am
behalf of the
reclaiming
city
my
of
time.
Chicago.
I want to ask.
Oh man, Brandon Johnson. Oh man, what a joke he is to the city of Chicago, and clearly being exposed on the world stage right there in Congress. Wait, we have more. Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood versus Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Let's check this out.
Whether or not you agree with it, it's a matter of whether it's a
Let me reclaim my
fact.
time, because I thought you might do this. And when I hear your answer, no one in this room should be surprised that your approval rating is 6.6%. Now, that's not just me saying this. Newsweek article, the least popular politician in America is Brandon Johnson. So Recent poll, M3 Strategies, conducted this February 20th to 21st, showed that Mayor Johnson has a 6.6% approval rating, the worst showing of any political figure in the country's history. So I know you're talking about crime is down and things are great and, you know, the city's flush with money. None of that is backed up by the people in the city of Chicago. And so I'm wondering why you continue to go down this path of failed policies, destruction to the city of Chicago, people fleeing, law enforcement at an all-time low. And I'm wondering if you have any remorse for that here today and can tell us why you continue to double down on these failed policies.
We've invested $1.25 billion in Chicago.
We've invested. Yeah, nice try, dude. You're a loser. Everyone in the world knows it. The least popular politician. Here we have a college student saying, our brains are tiny? What? Okay. Goofies of Chicago posting this. Brandon Johnson hired a law firm to prepare him for the congressional hearings, but it doesn't look like he's prepared at all. What's this?
1,648. Mayor Johnson, how about you? How many, according to my records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. So I'd ask you, sanctuary from what?
If you're referring to the number of individuals that were bused from Governor Abbott without any coordination, the 52,000 individuals that were seeking asylum.
Oh yeah, he's blaming Governor Abbott. Oh my goodness, they bust him to us. Yeah, well, we had to. All right, he had to. He had to expose what Biden was doing by shipping them all up to Chicago and New York, so you guys would feel the pain he's feeling down in Texas. Yeah. Let's see you try to deflect this one, Brandon.
Those individuals were bused to us. I passed a bus ordinance to work to coordinate with the governor of Texas. He refused to do that. But that transfer of individuals was the result of the governor of Texas, not the result of a welcoming city ordinance.
Welcoming city ordinance. So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border.
They were not welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the welcoming city ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies, and that's why we're seeing a decline in violence.
So you don't care about federal law enforcement policies, only local policies?
We comply with all laws. What I do care about is this body, Washington, passing comprehensive immigration.
So let me ask you this. Chicago residents reported...
What I do care about is this federal body passing a law for comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, those are the buzzwords they like to throw about, right? Give me a break, dude.
28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone. Cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. Now, also, state funds, $160 million were issued to illegal alien job assistance shelters in Chicago. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you? And who do you serve?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
Illegal or not, criminal or not. How many of the 662,566 illegal aliens with criminal histories that ICE has reported are now residing in Chicago?
Someone will have to get back with you with that number. I don't keep account of.
Do you take immigration information from criminals as they're arrested and processed? Do you take immigration information?
Our local law enforcement focuses on getting all violent individuals off the streets of Chicago.
Do you determine whether they're here legally? Mayor Johnson.
Oh, man.
How about you?
Mayor Johnson just getting roasted now. Listen, the national security implications of a secure border extend far beyond drug interdiction. Under the previous administration, over 100 migrants with terrorist ties were allowed to cross into the U.S., with only 8 currently in custody. So think about that. Potential terrorists roaming free in American communities while federal agencies were busy investigating parents at school board meetings. Trump's Department of National Intelligence, led by Tulsi Gabbard, is now going to hunt down the terror suspects and pick up the pieces left by the last administration. This is what serious leadership looks like. Acknowledging threats and acting decisively to neutralize them. So I'll ask you this, drop a comment. When did protecting American citizens from terrorists and deadly drugs become a partisan issue? Shouldn't every elected official prioritize the safety of the people that they represent? Stand with border security and real news by grabbing some merch and supporting our efforts at the Next News Network at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Okay. All right. I'm going to check in with the chat here, and I want to see what mischief you guys are doing. Juan, 20 new memberships again. What is going on? We're at 215 new members tonight. I can't even get through it all. 215 new members. This is crazy. So I'm willing to guess that we're probably at like 1,000 members now, which is like terrifying because of the stuff I post and the behind the scenes stuff. Oh my goodness. All these people are going to be watching this like totally raw stuff that I post. But that's what we do it for. You know, we want you guys to be a part of this thing. It's a mission we're on, and you guys are along for the ride. And we thank you for that. So, Brian, would you do me a favor, Brian, when you get a chance? I don't think I added some of those latest members only posts to the playlist, that you could do that. So all these new members, now you can go back and you can see all of the behind the scenes stuff when I'm going into DC and behind the scenes of the White House and stuff like that. You can see it all. You'll never see that published anywhere except for the members only section. Okay. All right. We got some more news to get to. The collapse of the Democrats happening in real time. And I'm excited to present it to you here. Okay. We got a lot of great clips here. Oh, wow. This is good stuff. Okay. I hope you guys are ready for what we have planned now. Let's get it going. What we witnessed on the House floor wasn't just embarrassing, it was a portrait of a political party in total disarray. As Republicans moved to censure Representative Al Green for his disgraceful disruption during President Trump's address to Congress, Democrats responded by singing. Yes, singing, "We shall overcome." Yeah, during an official congressional proceeding. Speaker Mike Johnson was forced to literally shush them like children in a classroom. 10 Democrats broke ranks and joined Republicans in the censure vote, apparently still capable of feeling shame. The spectacle follows their petulant behavior during Trump's address, where they refused to stand for a freed American hostage, the apprehension of terrorists, a murdered college student, and a pediatric cancer survivor. Bill O'Reilly told Chris Cuomo that Democrats are on the verge of collapse and could lose power for the next 20 years. And you know what's collapsing faster than the Democrat Party? Men's testosterone levels across America. Most guys blame aging or genetics, but there's a shocking culprit hiding in plain sight. While Democrats are singing protest songs in Congress, millions of American men are unknowingly consuming a supposedly healthy food that's scientifically proven to devastate testosterone levels. It's not junk food or sugar. It's something much more unexpected that you've been told is actually good for you. Just eating it a few times weekly is enough to wreck your testosterone, drain your energy, and crush your motivation. Our friends over at Sculpt Nation have documented remarkable transformation in men who simply eliminated this one thing from their diet. They're building muscle, burning fat, and feeling energized again. Do you want to know what this testosterone-killing food is? Visit sculptnation.com/NNN before this information disappears. Okay, let's get into it. Here's Bill O'Reilly telling Chris Cuomo 21 hours ago that Democrats are on the verge of collapse. Wow.
Donald Trump last night did what he wanted to do. Number one, he got on the record that his accomplishments in the first 6 weeks were fairly extraordinary, which is true, both good and bad. And number two, he taunted the Democratic Party into making a myriad of mistakes. I think the Democratic Party is on the verge of collapse. And I liken it to 1931, when Herbert Hoover and the Republican Party basically said to the very suffering American people in the Depression, we're not helping you. You got to do it on your own. It's all about self-reliance. We're not going to give you any safety nets. That led to 5 consecutive Democratic wins. 5. Not until Dwight Eisenhower, 20 years later, did the Republicans recover. I see the same scenario for the Democrats. So I wrote a message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com, which I know you read every morning, first thing. It said, hey, didn't the far left, the Elizabeth Warrens, used to be against war, Vietnam, they're against Iraq, Afghanistan, they didn't want to whack Soleimani, Biden didn't even want to get bin Laden. Well, wasn't that their posture? But now, all of a sudden, they want to go in Ukraine and go and go and go and go. What happened? What happened was Trump hatred. And that's what the headline is of the speech last night. When you are hating someone, you lose all perspective. You lose all feeling. You're consumed. Donald Trump last night.
I love to see Bill O'Reilly's insights. And, a side note here, I think it's remarkable to see Bill O'Reilly talking with Chris Cuomo on News Nation. I mean, Bill was unceremoniously fired from Fox. Chris Cuomo, he had his own problems over at CNN. And look at them now. 2 complete opposite sides of the spectrum now having this dialogue. It's remarkable. But I always appreciate Bill O'Reilly's insights. I've always been a fan of Bill O'Reilly, even in my early years, always watching the O'Reilly Factor, and then eventually actually being a guest on his show, which was just, it was a remarkable moment for me. Bill O'Reilly had me on his show to talk about Tucker Carlson getting unceremoniously removed from Fox News and to get my insights on Tucker's next moves. Totally cool. Okay, so let's continue with the collapse of the Democrat Party. 24 hours ago, here we have this. This looks like this is the hearing with the mayors of all these Democrat-led cities who are basically ignoring federal law. Let's listen.
Acceptable for this is why you have 6%.
Okay, this is Representative Nancy Mace grilling Mayor Johnson.
Approval rating because you suck at answering questions. This is why you have 6% approval rating because you suck at answering questions. All of the mayors here today are actively working to harm the American people you represent. You all have blood on your hands. You are under oath. I only want a yes or a no to my questions. Do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
Yes or
causes
no?
harm
Yes or
and
no?
breaks
Okay,
the law
Mayor Wu.
should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating because you suck at answering questions. This is why you have 6%.
Yeah, Mayor Johnson, keep trying, dude. Here we have this. The Democrat Party itself is frankly an irrelevant party. This is on CNN. Wow.
Highlighted Democratic Party itself is frankly an irrelevant political party. They don't have a message. Their policy positions have left cities across this country in shambles. I mean, even last night, let's just think about this for a minute.
Okay, so this is Shermichael.
Relevant political party. They don't have a message.
Shermichael Singleton on CNN.
Their policy positions have left cities across this country in shambles. I mean, even last night, let's just think about this for a minute. The president highlighted DJ, the young kid who's dealing with cancer survivor, They didn't even have enough decency to stand and applaud. He highlighted the mother whose daughter was killed by an illegal immigrant. They didn't stand and applaud. He talked about law enforcement, not the bad guys, but the ones who are doing good work every day across this country, keeping our cities safe. They didn't stand and applaud. It appears to me that the Democratic Party, in my personal opinion, is a party that is in chaos right now.
You think
they have no idea which direction
Sir Michael,
to
with
go.
all due respect, you think Democrats are going to...
absolutely.
Wait, let me say this. You think Democrats should applaud Donald Trump when he talks about law enforcement?
No, but a kid with cancer.
Stop. Let me just... No, excuse me. In that very chamber where Donald Trump's goons try to harm the people that were sitting there and applauding Donald Trump, you want Democrats to take advice from Donald Trump about law enforcement?
It's not about taking advice, Julie. Some things should just simply be above politics.
Right.
And those are three instances where Democrats could have simply applauded.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to like the president to say these are good things.
This president is cutting funding for childhood cancer. You want to know what he's cutting funding for? The NIH, the CDC. He's got a wacko as the head of HHS. And you want to talk about it. I'm sorry. I'm very happy for that kid. I'm very happy for that kid. I'm glad that his lifelong dream came true and he became, a cop or whatever he wanted to become. But the bottom line is that all it does is accentuate the horrors that Donald Trump is imposing on kids with cancer.
Democrats seemed pathetic and they seemed petulant in their behavior last night. And if they think that's going to help them going into midterms next year, I say keep going. But what about
keep going? Yes, please do. You guys keep embarrassing yourself. Here is Laura Ingraham with Piers Morgan destroying MSNBC. Ooh.
With Nicole Wallace. Now, Piers, the media, the kind of, again, never Trump media, they made it worse at times last night. This was a moment on MSNBC with Nicole Wallace speaking of the child with cancer. Watch.
The beauty of that child is the tragedy of the Trump presidency. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
Piers, what was that?
One of the most disgusting, shameful, reprehensible things I have ever seen on the news in America. And the bar was pretty high for that accolade. I thought what Nicole Wallace did last night in taking that boy's story and in a weirdly dystopian, horrific way, asking us to think about whether he might kill himself. What on earth was she thinking? Why is she still in her job today? Why has nobody at NBC watched that back like the rest of us, aghast in horror, and said, you're fired? Because that was a disgusting thing to do. And she wasn't the only one at MSNBC. Rachel Maddow, in a laughably ironic rant about don't politicize this boy's story, then politicized his story. And they couldn't get their heads around it. Again, Laura, it was the lack of humanity. I don't care if you're on the left or the right. If you're a human being and that story doesn't just move you like a human being should be moved, there is something wrong with you. There was something wrong with those Democrats who didn't get up off their backside. There's something wrong with those MSNBC anchors. And it says an awful lot that they still pretend they are the caring ones, the compassionate.
Yeah, they're exposing themselves every single time they open their mouths. Here we have more. Chris Cuomo says one thing Democrats achieved during Trump's address is they made Trump seem classy. Wow. Chris Cuomo, man, this guy's blowing my mind every day. I mean, he's just trying to cling to relevancy, but let's see.
How do you... The story of the night wasn't Trump's truth abuse. It could have been. But the Democrats gifted him a rare distinction, certainly for this president. High ground. How? How do you give Trump high ground? By Democrats being the worst behaved caucus in that chamber in modern history. Congressman Al Green stood and jeered at the president, shaking a stick at him, which reminded me of a moment in our history that I'll get back to. He got kicked out. He may get censured for his disruptions. Other Democrats heckled the president, held up signs in silent protest saying Musk steals and no king. Many of them were wearing pink.
I mean, at least Al Green wasn't holding up a giant Q-tip. Remember when Chris Cuomo did that? Sorry, I digress.
which they declared a power color of resistance. Okay. Look, in my estimation, the Democrats achieved one thing. They made Trump seem classy by comparison. And that is no easy task. They were exactly what they accuse MAGA of being. And it was because of this division and their display that what should have been the unifying moment of the night became proof of the ugliness that is our present political state of play. The moment would have been a beautiful one. You're looking at the kid right now, DJ Daniel, 13 years old, surviving brain cancer, okay? He was being singled out. He was only supposed to make it a few months. He's lasted years. Take a listen to the moment.
In 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
You see his face? Beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody should have been on their feet. Boy, do we need to celebrate the miracles. We need it so badly right now. And yet, I have no problem with protesting Trump's inaccurate assertions. I have no problems going after his actions. But icing a kid with cancer? So many Democrats refusing to clap or applaud DJ? You know why? Because in the ugly game of advantage, which is all our party politics is about, don't let anybody tell you anything different. No one has high ground when it comes to seeking the bottom. Okay?
Wow. Chris Cuomo. There. Here we go. Carly Bonet. When Pinocchio would lie, his nose would grow. When Maddow lies, her neck will stretch. Oh my, what's this? Here's Rachel Maddow.
They're running up against the law. They're running up against journalists figuring out what they are doing. They are running up against the revelation that the American people really dislike what they are doing, and people are willing to let that be known. They're running up against constituents, even Republican constituents, people who live in bright red districts and states, telling their members of Congress and their senators how much they dislike what Trump is doing. They're running up against people protesting against it. The pushback all over this country has thrown down stop strips in the road to flatten their tires and at least slow them down, and sometimes to stop them. And it has happened everywhere. And none of it has been easy, given the scale of what they are trying to do to this country. But the feedback loop here is very clear 6 weeks in. It is working. And redoubled efforts will mean redoubled results.
It surprises me that Rachel Maddow still has a show. I mean, you remember when her pay was cut. Maybe she'll end up like Joy Reid. We can only hope that that happens. Here is Senator Jim Banks. Donald Trump has broken the Democrat Party. He certainly has.
None of the Democrats, and I saw one senator when President Trump talked about capturing the terrorist who was the mastermind behind the Abbey Gate attack that killed 13 of our heroes. And by the way, none of the Democrats clapped for that either. I mean, how can you not clap for that? I saw one Democrat look to the Democrat to his right and say, "We should stand up." You could see him mouthing it. "We should be standing up," and they were all shaking their heads. No, we have to stay seated. That's how foolish these Democrats are. There is not a line that came out of President Trump's mouth last night, that 75% or more of Americans don't agree with. Everything, there was nothing controversial last night that he said. He was speaking to the American people. Everything that came out of his mouth was something that the majority of Americans agree with, and the Democrats wouldn't stand up for it. Donald Trump has broken the Democrat Party. They are beyond repair, and how foolish they looked last night is something that's going to linger over them for a long time to come.
Views of Trump's speech. Let's put this up on screen. I've been around this space for about 13 years. I'm just drawing from memory. It is very rare to have a 76% approval rating of a joint session of speech to Congress. Very rare Very unusual. If I remember, Biden might be high 50s at the watermark and then maybe low 50s. Even Obama might have been high 60s, low 70s during the high Obama period, then went down from there. We can probably look at other speeches and reactions. That's 76% of Americans that approved President Trump's speech. And the Democrats, instead of at least having some sort of an agreeable attitude, their bitterness and their sourness towards America is disturbing, and it is revealing of a darker sickness that has infected our politics.
Yeah, it's infecting them all. Here we have more. This is a real video. Oh my goodness, you guys see this? This is a real video that Democrat congresswomen all filmed. Okay, it's probably one of the most cringe videos going viral because of its cringeworthiness. Okay, like they're standing there and they're trying to be like some kind of video game fighter. Okay. AOC, Lauren Underwood, Catherine Clark, Judy Chu, Jasmine Crockett, Susie Lee. Yeah, some serious cringe. They're trying so hard. Here we have this post from the White House. Democrats expose themselves as the party of insanity and hate, the party that wants to put America last. This is from the press secretary.
Ugliest display. The behavior of Democrats was completely disgraceful.
The night began with several Democrats turning their backs on the president, then walking out.
Look at what's happening. The Democrats are not even acknowledging the cabinet right now.
One of the ugliest displays of partisan politics in American history.
It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor.
I have never seen such a disgraceful display as the Democrats put on.
Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
What we saw tonight was truly Dems in disarray.
It was the most shameful moment in the history of presidential addresses in that beautiful chamber.
Democrats did not clap for Mark Fogel, a freed American hostage standing beside his 95-year-old mother.
They didn't stand for the young man whose father was a slain police officer, whom Trump admitted to West Point in the middle of the speech. They wouldn't stand for him.
Democrats didn't stand to keep men out of women's sports. They couldn't even clap for a girl who got her head smashed in by a man on a volleyball court.
The Democratic Party could not be further from being pro-woman. They are anti-woman and they are anti-reality.
Democrats didn't stand for an innocent and beautiful child who is surviving brain cancer.
And then Trump announced the capture of a terrorist, someone who killed 13 heroic Americans in Afghanistan. But nope, can't stand for that.
They couldn't even clap for two mothers whose daughters were killed by illegal aliens.
They don't stand for anything humane.
It looked like they were at the kids' table.
It's just literally a failure of epic proportions.
Democrats exposed themselves as the party of insanity and hate. The party that wants to put America last.
It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
That's an official video from the White House they cut and put together. Wow. Here we have Democrats. This guy looks like he ain't happy. Democrats don't care about black voters, brown voters, or any American for that matter. They only care about themselves, and they proved that last night. Jamin Liu posted this.
I got a quick question to all you motherfucking Democrats, especially those of you in the black community, the brown community, who sit here and say that Republicans don't give a shit about minorities. Last night, when President Trump was doing his damn thing, giving all kinds of love to that 13-year-old kid, DJ Daniels, what did the Democrat Party do? They sat on their ass. This 13-year-old kid fought every single fucking day. He didn't give up. He stayed in the fucking fight. And last night is probably the highest honor of his life. And the Democrat Party couldn't show him no love. If y'all don't shut the fuck up with your stupid shit and wake the fuck up, because the Democrat Party don't give a shit about you, but they got you convinced. out here regurgitating the same stupid fucking talking points from the Democrat Party that Republicans and MAGA don't care about you. They literally showed you to your motherfucking face they don't give a fuck about you. I got a quick question to all you motherfucking Democrats.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Some colorful language there. I apologize for that. Okay. Here we have. Here's a man who walked away from the Democrat Party. Let's see what he has to say.
The party when I realized a recovering Democrat here left the Democrat Party when I realized I was very involved with it, and went to a meeting, even went to the Democrat convention in Atlanta, and I guess that's kind of where it was when they asked him about his subject and why they haven't legalized it yet. You can probably guess what it is, and the head of the DNC told me it's an issue we want. As long as we have the issue, we can win elections on it. They didn't want to make it legal. They wanted the issue. They could have made it legal a long time ago when they had control. But nope, they wanted the issue to run on. And that's when I finally realized that the Democrats were nothing but a party about power and not about the people. For example, the ladies that wore pink last night supporting women and then didn't applaud for keeping men out of women's sports, and didn't applaud for the lady who had kids had been her child had been murdered by the illegal aliens, and then not applaud for the frigging kid who had survived brain cancer for no reason at all. There was nothing in that political, and there was no benefit from it, no nothing. And I mean, who can't applaud? I mean, who the hell raised you that you can't get applauded by that? But yeah, it's a sad world, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, I left the Democrat Party, and I realized how wrong I was with the Democrat Party. It's yeah, that's it. So keep Democrats. I can't understand why anybody would stay with them at this point. They would have humiliated me last night. I would be ashamed to say I was a Democrat this morning if I was one. But yep, good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Yeah, people walking away from the Democrat Party in droves. Here's more. This is trending politics 24 hours ago. I don't know who the leader of the Democrat Party is, but I know who runs it. Donald Trump. Scott Jennings, love the guy.
It failed. Walz has no idea what happened last night because he has always been and remains in over his head. He's a fringe partisan. He sees the world through the tired old politics that failed last year, this class warfare message, it doesn't work. Look what happened in the speech. 74% of Americans said it was presidential. 74% entertaining. 71% inspiring. 62% unifying. 46% said divisive, which was how the Democrats want to describe it. They don't know
That's going to be skewed, though, right? Because it's people that watch the speech, so that's going to be more Republican.
Okay.
I'm not saying, listen, I mean, our 80% number that we showed, David talked about it last night, it's about 14% more Republican than usual, so that still puts it at a big disapproved number. But I just want to caveat what you're saying.
Listen,
continue.
The reality is Donald Trump had a perfectly good night because he articulates issues that the vast majority of the American people are basically in alignment with. And the Democrats had a terrible night because they acted like children, just like Fetterman said. I was interested to see Walz attack Fetterman. The 2028 Democratic primary for president is obviously on. And if that's the best, they have to offer, I mean, look, I don't know who the leader of the Democratic Party is, but I know who runs it. Donald Trump. He runs.
That's the truth, folks. So the Democrat Party is in collapse. It's not just a political story. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when ideology trumps common sense and basic decency. Their behavior during Trump's address revealed a party that's lost touch with mainstream American values. As one person noted, Democrats seem pathetic and petulant in their behavior last night, and I see keep going. This is the party consumed by hatred, not just Trump, but of the American people that he represents. They become so obsessed with opposing him that they've forgotten how to stand for anything. When they refuse to applaud a cancer-surviving child or a freed hostage, They're telling you exactly who they are. So I'll leave you with this question. You can drop your response in the comments. How could a party that shows such contempt for basic American values ever hope to govern effectively? Have they become permanently unserious about the challenges facing our nation? I want to hear from you. And I do read the comments. And declare your independence from the Democrat Party by showing you support real news, by getting a hat, Next News Network hat, or a MAG Avengers hat, or a MAG Avengers t-shirt, and support the network. We love you guys. Shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Okay, where are we now? Look at this. 215 new members. We have $110 in chat revenue. You guys are just on fire tonight. And what is this? So you guys can see me do the Trump dance? Is that what you want? Okay, fine. Here we go. Here's the Trump dance. Doing a Trump dance. I'm doing the Trump dance for you because that's what you do when you get all these new members. Okay, enough of the cringe. All right? You made me look like a fool. And that's, I think, what your goal was this whole time. But I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And let's check in with a real-time chat for just a moment because we do have to cut out of here. I wanted to make note, I will not have a live show tomorrow. I've got some administrative stuff to do here in Washington, D.C. I do intend on going back to the White House and giving you a recap of the week. Hopefully we can get that filed for you. It'll be on the channel. But let's take a look at the main chat. I will be back on Monday, however. Okay, let's see what we have going on. What are you guys talking about? Sucks we've had to live through last 14 years. You rock, Gary. Uh-oh, super secret stuff. I love the cursing. They have no independent thought. Thanks, Gary, says Diana. LOL, better tomorrow. Oh no, what will we do? You rock, Gary. Listen for vision. What else? God save the Queen. Thank God England is full of them. Thank you for everything, Deborah Myers. $5. We appreciate you, Deborah. Thank you for dropping the $5. We are at, I think, I don't know, because there was a $50 super chat from Rumble, and then 66 on YouTube. So this is great stuff. I love you guys. Continuing in the main chat here. Was there? Hang on. Okay. What up, Gary? Kill for real. Steve Alsop. LOL. Another great show. Christina. Love you, Gary says. Well, yeah, I love you, Juan. You just gave people all this access to the stuff behind the scenes. Thanks, dude. All right. But okay. Anyway, it's good stuff regardless. The Demon Rats are finished, says Jungle Juice. I guess they could all be mad because they're compromised from their own criminal activity, so it could be a massive blackmail campaign that's driving the haters' behavior. Thanks, Gary, says Diana. What else? Unlimited indulgence is human. That's why the globe migrates here. Democrats only. Continuing. Gary, the franchise Franchi baby. What? Seriously, dude? May God bless you all until we meet again. Amy Starkey, 199. Love your show. Well, we love you, Amy. Thank you for your support. Hope it's televised, Mr. MRO. What's that mean? Televised MRO. This is so much fun, says Steve. I know we could sit here and have fun, but you know what? We actually have to rent this studio, so we are here. We're paid by the hour, folks. That's why we need your super chats and Rumble rants to pay the bills here. But we want to give you the best quality that we possibly can. If you saw that Airbnb that I had rented, yeah, pretty embarrassing. I could not even set up a camera in that room. In fact, my camera was attached to a baby crib in the main room. I don't even want to. It was just, no, not even. It was embarrassing. I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't even bring myself to do it. So thank God we found this place. And guess what? Next time I come back, we're going to have this place locked down just for you guys. So I really appreciate all your support. Sebastian Cooper. Hold on, Gary. 1 sec. Let me turn on YMCA. Sassy Patty dropping $5. She gets the point. Hippo character. Super sticker. We are Gary's Gorillas, says Jeremy. Good night and God bless everyone. Great quality. Yeah, aren't these cameras great? These cameras are better than cameras back home. Isn't that wild? But we do have some new cameras that will be showing up this month in the studio back home. So hopefully we can bring you just this great quality again. So we're gonna close this out, and I want to thank everyone for jumping in and sharing the stream tonight. So as we wrap up tonight's Raw Feed right here from Washington D.C., I can tell you the energy in the city is electric. On day 45 of President Trump's return to the White House, being here in the Capitol, I've witnessed firsthand the American economic revival taking shape. Mortgage rates falling for 7 straight weeks, manufacturing roaring back to life, a $20 billion investment creating 10,000 American jobs. It's not happening by accident. It's the direct result of leadership that puts American workers and families first. We've watched as President Trump took on the fake news media for their disgraceful attacks on a 13-year-old cancer survivor. And he didn't mince words, calling for the resignation of those responsible. At the same time, he signed executive orders protecting American industry and suspending security clearances for the law firm behind the Russian hoax. This is what accountability looks like. We examine the groundbreaking Trump-Musk alliance that's already identifying $1 trillion in government waste while reshaping corrupt institutions like Voice of America with Kari Lake. The partnership between America's most effective president and its most innovative entrepreneur represents something truly revolutionary. Government that works for the people, not the bureaucrats. We've seen President Trump's comprehensive strategy to combat the cartels and fentanyl crisis bearing fruit with 60,000 pounds of deadly drugs already interdicted. And we've documented the Democrat Party's continuing collapse as they sang protest songs during an unofficial censure vote and refused to stand for basic decency during Trump's address to Congress. This is the unfiltered truth you won't get from the corporate media, and it's why we need your support to keep this show going. Every donation helps us continue bringing you the real story from Washington and beyond. So visit the links in the description to make your contribution today. And I want to personally thank everybody who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants, and I want to welcome all of our new members. Your engagement makes this show what it is, a true community of patriots dedicated to preserving our republic. So before I head back to Chicago from D.C., let me remind you, okay, tell a friend about the Raw Feed. Okay, it's person to person is how we grow this movement. And don't forget to check out our new merch shop, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, where you can get exclusive, limited edition Next News swag to show off your favorite news source. And thank you for joining the Raw Feed tonight from our nation's capital live. And we'll see you all on the next show when I return back to Chicago.